Dynasty blazes are the guardians' stories and leaders' knightly order, serving ruling family. Their coat of arms represents honor, strength, and loyalty. The order's mansion, surrounded greenery, becomes a symbol of light and hope, contrasting with the danger that hangs over the heroes. At the time of the attack, Derek, seeing threat, demands from Irina urgently flee to Arden, promising to detain the enemies and protect her any price. Irina, amazed despair and fear, hears how Derek insists that she survived despite the chaos and fire that surrounded their enemy is approaching, and Derek, with fury repelling attacks, orders Irene run. He holds the line despite the risk to his life. Irina, broken emotions, runs in the corridors, wondering how they found themselves in such a situations, and struggling with feelings, guilt. Suddenly, she hears familiar voice. It's Mirabelle, whose eyes full fear and tears. They shout that she should not her leave. In horror, Mirabelle calls Irina, not wanting to lose her sister. Her scream pierces heart, forcing Irene stop. Irina remembers their past battles, where she had to go through hell for this moment. All her power is now she's running out, but she doesn't give up. Clenching her will into a fist, she gathers the rest of his strength to finish the fight and protect those who are dear to her. Her determination blazes in scarlet eyes. Irina stands before Paveluk, the king, who guilty of her suffering. She is tense, her armor covered blood. Paveluk, with contempt, looks at her, saying that finally she, here. Their meeting represents the beginning of the long-awaited battles. Irina remembers how because of the immeasurable greed Paveluka, she lost the most dear. Her face expresses pain and determination. She full anger, blaming the king for the destruction her life, and swearing that he would answer for everything. Family Irina was destroyed by order of Paveluk. Father and brother were cruelly killed for fun. Image's favorite close ones. Their faces full pains come alive in her memory, inciting hatred even more stronger. Irina's younger sister, her light in a dark world, died. Girl in pink dress, crying from fear and pain, symbolizes the loss that did Irina is the one who she is now. Movable revenge. From that moment on, Irina lived for only one thing: retribution, this. The goal gave her the strength to survive the year's suffering and become strong. She looks into the eyes to his own the enemy, knowing that the path of revenge led her here. Paveluk praises her for her persistence, but warns that he may her destroy them. Exchange of words is duel of wills, where every considers myself stronger than the other. But Irina decides that the king will become victims. Irina rushes into a furious attack. She is furious and ready to strike down the king, but Paveluk parries her cold blows confidence. Their battle is full forces. Every blow is a struggle for justice and power. The battle is ending. Defeat Irina. She falls, wounded but not broken. She bitterly realizes that her revenge is not complete. Her hand squeezes ring, her symbol vows, until she exhales with difficulty. Having woken up, Irina discovers herself in a new place, full life. She is at a loss, looks at his own reflection, her eyes full surprise, as if they ask, maybe lie she be alive? Fate gives her a second chance. Irina, waking up, notices familiar room, and realizes that she returned to her past. Her sight is filling up surprise and lightness confusion, because this place reminds her of the past, which she didn't expect it see again. Approaching the mirror, Irina notices how it's changed. She is surprised his youth, wondering why looks like past years erased. Her heart beats stronger, and the mind trying to understand that is happening. Her thoughts interrupted by a knock on the door. A voice behind the door calls anxiety and excitement. Irina turns around. Her sight is filling up questions. Sister Mirabelle calls her. What more enhances her confusion. Mirabelle enters the room with a radiant smile. She is glad that Irina is already awake, and this, it seems to her, real holiday. At Irina's inside, all shrinks. She doesn't believe his own eyes, repeating name sisters. Mirabelle, Beret, Irina, by the hands, sharing joyful news. She tells about something important event, and her voice sounds so sincere and happy that Irina involuntarily starts test relief, but still more feels anxiety. Having heard about the upcoming ball, which will come crown prince, Irina feels like past comes alive in front of her with her eyes. She looks at his sister with confusion, trying to understand the words and understand why it's so exciting, Mirabelle. Irina immerses himself in his thoughts. She asks that this moment lasted forever, as if he doesn't want to wake up from this amazing sleep. She looks at his sister with warmth, which comes from the most depths, her soul. Mirabelle, with anxiety, notices her state and asks, "Everything, are you okay?" Irina squeezes out a weak smile, but in her eyes, readable pain associated with memories of the past, which she once left behind. Remembering how she lost Mirabelle in the past, Irina feels acute guilt. Her consciousness covers images of how she left her sister in trouble, and this awakens in her an unbearable pain and regret. Irina squeezes Mirabelle in arms, feeling like her heart is filled with warmth. She whispers to herself how much she missed her sister, hoping that now she is there will be a chance to fix their errors. Irina feels warm and thinks that this reality, but not completely believes. She hugs his younger sister Mirabelle, feeling strong affection for her affection, as if trying to protect her. Irina continues to think, to feel incredible reality what is happening. She is being asked, the question is not found. She is in heaven, because she had never dreamed of such things before, bright and sensual dreams. Her sudden awareness pushes Irina ask important question. "What, it's a year now, Mirabelle?" Slightly confused. He replies that this is the year 367, according to the imperial calendar, which makes Irina think about it more stronger. Irina is shocked by what she heard. She realizes that somehow ended up 20 years in the past, long before the fall. Their houses, when all more can was try, change the fate of the family. Mirabelle, noticing the concerned sisters, suggests that she take a rest, referring to her tiredness. She also adds that became attached to her and brings apologies for this, conveying news about the Crown Prince. The mention of the Crown Prince evokes sharp Irina's reaction. Her sight becomes tense, and thoughts are being filled, disturbing assumptions after all. This name associated with many events in the past. Carlisle Van Dimitri, the Crown Prince, who dedicated his life to battles, shone against the backdrop of palace buildings. His figure looks like confident, but few people knew him closely. That creates an aura of mystery. Memories return to Paveluk, who raised uprising. This was the beginning of the End dynasties. Blaze. What leads Irina to thoughts about how everything could have happened be otherwise, if the Crown Prince would have remained alive. Vague images of the Crown Prince are reinforced regrets. Irina, I am convinced that he would resist Paveluk and prevent tragic events, changing history of home and family. However, her determination intensifies when she internally states that now all equal. She realizes that should concentrate on your own ways and do all possible to change future. Irina with tenderness looks at Mirabelle, feeling the warmth emanating from her. She thinks about how again found family, that I always wanted to save it. This fills her determination, take advantage of given her the chance. Thinking by the window, Irina recalls the death of Crown Prince Carlisle, who was killed in the vicinity capitals. She realizes importance of this, an event that shook the entire secular world. In front of her, with eyes a picture of the dead, arises Carlisle, lying on the ground. His death comes as a shock to society, an unexpected and irreversible turn of fate. Irina decides change move events and save Carlisle. Her thoughts focused on searching weapons and invention reasons his own absences, so that begin to act. She recalls that soon her brother Glenn must get engaged and decides use this pretext to help with preparation and unnoticed to do their own affairs. She is in the park, meets her brother Derek, training with a sword. His image sends a wave through her warm memories, and she feels their strength family connections. Irina remembers how Derek saved her life. Sacrificing yours earlier, she condemned him for leaving her, but now understands his heroism and feeling debt. She feels how much she missed her brother. His presence evokes contradictory feelings in her emotions, mixture, sadness, and joy. Derek notices hers, and theirs sight intersects. She is trying to hide their feelings, having said that only what came up, but her excitement gives out her. They discussing Glenn's wedding. Irina says that wants help with the preparations. In this conversation, she finds way begin to implement your rescue plan, Carlisle. Irina, with excitement, says goodbye to Derek, who is worried, warns her be careful. Their parting filled, hidden with concern and warmth, emphasizing trust between them. Derek puzzled and a little confused when Irina suddenly thanks him for everything he has done. Her words seem unexpected, but sincere. That causes him confusion and light voltage. With a smile and ease, Irina confidently leaves, leaving Derek thoughtful and slightly confused. Her determination transmits feeling importance conceived, even if she hides true intentions. Derek Saagt, left alone, worries about what Irina could take the risk. He thinks about her security and hopes that I prudently took it with me, security. Irina, left alone, exposes hidden determination, checking their combat skills. Inner confident movements, readable experience and determination. As if this just the beginning of it paths. She finds old armor associated with her past. Touching them evokes memories and strong emotions, awakening feeling, debt, and family responsibility. For Irina, these armor mean more than just armor. It's a symbol of strength, her mother's. Her sight becomes focused, and thoughts are full determination. She remembers how in the past, she could not use armor, but now feels that it came time to correct past mistakes. This is her moment internal breakthrough. The armor is finally ready for use. Irina feels that she's capable accept call fates. This step is for her, means a new beginning, complete confidence and power. Despite the uncertainty future, Irina decides fight for your family. Her red eyes are burning with determination, promising that she is ready to protect those who are dear to her, any price. Carlisle, the future crown prince, appears against a dark backdrop landscape covered in dark red flowers. His figure expresses strength, and words emphasize importance his mission. He seeks to save not only yourself, but also the future, from which depend the fate of many. Irina wakes up in his room with a worried look on her face. She is set question why events develop in such a way that it seems that heaviness past haunts her even in a dream, forcing search answers. In the cart, Irina looks out from windows, wary, evaluating what is happening. Her bright eyes full surprise and distrust. She trying to understand that it happens, and it is noticeable tenses up from the aggravation situations. On the way, the carts appear, knights who. They report that they're sent Derek. Their job is to protect Irina, because her safety seems not enough secured. Knight's words strengthen tension in her heart. Hearing about brother Derek, Irina responds calmly. But internally, she analyzes situation. She realizes that her position requires ultimate caution. Easy alertness is read in her look. Entrance to the palace meets rows armed guards. Thoughts. Irene overcrowded anxiety. Time plays against her. And despite the desire move forward, additional difficulties threaten break down her plans. In his room, Irina reflects on the unexpected turn of events. She admits that her escape was simple, but unexpected surprises, they force her urgently search new solutions, balancing between fear and determination. Against the backdrop of romantic light, Irina understands that she should be ready for the next step. Her sight becomes solid. She knows that from her actions depends solution, vital, important tasks. In the year 367 of the imperial calendar, events develop in an environment courtiers intrigues. Among sets, silhouettes, and whispers, she feels the power of fate, which connects the past with the present, demanding from her actions, looking forward with determination, with a glance. Irina realizes that future depends on her ability to save Carlisle. She is ready to change move stories, risking to everyone, for the sake of the common goals. The image shows Sophie, a young servant with a good-natured smile, answers the call, his Mrs. Irina. You can hear it in her voice, sincere devotion, and she is ready to fulfill any request. It is evident how her appearance exudes modesty and readiness. Help. Irina, refined girl with golden hair and piercing eyes, red eyes, surrounded luxurious flowers, reveals that she has. There is a delicate request. She slightly embarrassed, but determined is shared their own thoughts, creating an atmosphere of trust and mystery. Sophie, hearing the words of her ladies, is delighted. Her emotions turn into joyful excitement that emphasizes her pursuit be useful. The maid radiates determination and sincerity, preparing support Irina in her plans. Irina, it is admitted that her heart belongs to a person nearby. She open is shared their own feelings, showing how it's hard for her to cope with the difference in their statuses. This adds drama and depth her image, emphasizing her sincerity. Continuing your story, Irina explains that closeness to a person enhances her feelings. Her suffering and doubt open up with tenderness, immersing the viewer into a touching romantic dilemma. Irina, summing up, asks Sophie to cover up her disappearance. While she meets this human, she hands over the maid a coin that symbolizes trust and determination. This moment is filled with tenderness and drama. Irina, a girl with golden hair and red with his eyes. He offers his help, but emphasizes that there will be no action selfless. This is called lung tension, but also demonstrates her determination. Sophie, the devoted servant, humbly agrees, warning Irina about the need for a quick return. Her anxiety, it can be felt in the voice. However she tries, save peace for the sake of one's own ladies. Irina promises not to be late. Her face reflects confidence and determination. She soft closes behind itself door, leaving behind Sophie and the house. She is in the mood for something important and doesn't want to lose time. Among night forests appears woman in black, in armor, with tension expression faces. Her red eyes sparkle in the dark. She is in a hurry, clearly realizing that every second counts. Her horse rushing through the forest with a huge speed. Darkness only adds dramatic situations. But thoughts women, they say that her target critical. She stumbles upon a battlefield strewn with bodies. Blood everywhere, horror and pain surround her. She stunned cruelty scene. Her heart cringes in pain. Sitting on a horse, a woman reflects on the massacre that took place here. The look is full of fury and desire. Find out the truth about what happened. She feels that this is not just a battle, but something more. Among this cruelty, her thoughts addressed to the person for whom she is worried prays for his salvation, hoping that he is still alive. Her anxiety gets stronger with each passing day in a moment. Her sight falls on the hand of the deceased. Evoking the legend, this detail makes her chain memories, forcing her reflect on the past. Remembering the legend, she sees the image of Carlyle Van Dimitri. His mysterious figure and look carry something significant. This connection between past and present does her target more important. An ancient legend tells that Empire Megaphone was founded by a being whose nature is torn apart between a man and a dragon. This is the creature brought with it, mystical, the power that made it empire great. Shadow's palace shrouded in mystery associated with this being. It became a ruler, leaving a legacy that members' royal families still own, endowed incredible abilities. Mercenary Irina, dressed in armor, watches history, royal families. She shocked heard. Is it real that royal blood carries the power of a dragon? These thoughts torment her intelligence. Irina decides what the nature of the crown prince is. What he may not be a monster does not matter to her meanings. She squeezes their fists, preparing for the actions that can change her fate. Her eyes sparkle determination. Despite all fears, she feels that her duty is to lend a helping hand to the crown prince, even if this is coming contrary to her logic and fear of its essence. Irina takes fate into his own hands, trying to save the one who is rumored to carry the blood of a dragon. In a moment of crisis, she understands that she simply has no other choice. By using cunning plan and dexterity, Irina activates mechanism that must work in their benefit. Explosion distracts enemies, creating chaos among attackers. Enemies in confusion, sounds of battle and confusion break the silence. Suddenly, Irina sees how arrives reinforcement that instills in her spark hopes. Among chaos appears Carlyle Van Dimitri, the crown prince, in whom perhaps hides ancient power. His appearance calls mixture fear and respect from everyone present. Irina extends his hand to Carlyle. In spite of to all prejudices and fears, she is ready to accept his essence, whatever would she know was. For the sake of execution, his own debt and protection royal families. Carlyle Van Dimitri, holding back pain, leads horse, escaping from pursuit. Irina, dressed in armor, doubts his condition, but he stubbornly refuses stop, decisively determined to complete their journey. Squeezing teeth, Carlyle assures Irina, what all under control, though voltage noticeable on his face. Despite the visible tiredness, he finds forces continue, inspired her support and determination. The pursuers do not retreat, and the situation is heating up. At the decisive moment, the arrow amazes Carlyle. However, he does not allow to this break it by holding it back. Pain and asking, Irina is not to be expressed pity. Irina persuades him to be patient more a little, reminding that his stamina inspires surrounding her words awaken in him new strength, and he promises not to let us down her expectations. When danger finally behind, Irina relieved notes that they managed to break away from their enemies. However, her sight remains focused. She attentively monitors the condition Carlyle. Carlyle, weakened and exhausted, leans against a tree, trying catch your breath. Irina persistently offers, examine his wound, her voice full of concern and anxiety. Carlyle's wound heals before our eyes thanks to unexpected capabilities, Irina. He is amazed her force. In his gaze, there is a mixture surprise and gratitude. Irina, seeing countless scars on his body, understands through what he passed the test. Her thoughts become more deep. She realizes the full gravity of his fate. Watching him, Irina admires his fortitude. She starts to realize that the rumors about his exploits are not an exaggeration, but a truth that deserves respect. In conclusion, their dialogue. Carlyle is being asked question why she is so worried about him. The answer is full of hidden emotions, but she prefers focus on saving him, leaving personal feelings aside. Carlyle with suspicion looks at Irina, noticing his inconsistency with the knights, and is asked the question is why she saved him. In her eyes, the secret is read, but it answers reservedly, calling him Your Highness. Thoughts Irina reveal her true goal, to be close to the Crown Prince devotion expressed in a short but decisive phrase that sounds like a vow. She doesn't lose advantages, despite its direct questions. Carlyle requires explanations for what Irina mentally answers, that her desire to get closer to him. How can closer? Her persistence seems to him strange, but she only enhances intrigue. Suddenly, Irina does shocking confession, stating that once marry him, get married. This is statement stunning Carlyle, and he is clearly not prepared for this turn of events. Carlyle, confused, tries to understand what happens. It expresses your own bewilderment. Looking at Irina, whose eyes full determination, despite her knight's helmet. Irina sincerely asks Carlyle marries her, calling him Your Highness. Her voice sounds firmly, as if she has no doubts about her right, but her words seem impudent. Carlyle, with a sheer sarcasm, rejects proposal, claiming that he is not interested in men. He sincerely does not understand why Irina decided that this may be. Irina, internally indignant misunderstanding, thinks that Carlyle misunderstood her intentions. She does not give up, although her covers easy panic. Carlyle adds that none prophecies or rumors won't make him marry the first one counter. His words sound categorical, but Irina continues, keep a secret, emerges about a girl who became first the wife of the Crown Prince. Fate has connected her with the greatest secret, and there, the meeting seems to be just the beginning of a long paths. Full tests. In Fate, Irina, it is predicted that she will spend his life alone. Sad thoughts cover her, but the flowers in her hands seem to be symbolize hope despite the darkness around. Prophecy continues, describe the series of misfortunes that expect Irina against the background of a flower surrounded bloody spots. Her fate seems tragic and joyless. Clad in armor, Irina doubts the truth these words. She decides that even if prediction that's right, she's ready to go to any lengths, sacrifices for protection their own close ones. Irina removes his helmet, decisively accepting her fate. She understands that change. Nothing it is impossible, but it is not going to retreat from challenges. Taking off her helmet, Irina reveals your own face, surprising Carlyle, who sees in front of him beautiful and strong girl. His surprise transmits sincere emotions. Irina confidently introduces himself, telling about his origin. She explains that her family always served the royal dynasty and ruled knightly detachments. Carlyle suddenly calls her name, then causes Irina amazement. She is being asked the question of how he could know her. After all, their paths to this moments did not intersect. Carlyle starts ask questions like, Irina guessed that he was in danger. He also, I wonder where she got it from. Such skills, possessions, weapons, uncharacteristic, noble lady. Irina explains that her family doesn't know about her, yet fencing training. She secretly improves their skills, going there where her no one will see. Carlyle agrees, trust in her words. That causes Irina lung bewilderment. She didn't expect so fast faith in her explanations, but decides continue your way. Carlyle sat under the tree, expressing trust Irene. His calm and relaxed tone make girl think about it. Not too much. Did he agree easily? Her embarrassment enhances voltage between them. Irina, with anxiety, asks Carlyle, "We met Lee. They earlier." His confidence in the answer only emphasizes her confusion. However, he decides not to focus on it, attention, considering this. It doesn't matter if she doesn't remember. Carlyle suddenly asks question that knocks out Irina from ruts. Why she did to him proposal, his doubts about the sincerity, her motivations they force. Her feel myself vulnerable. Irina explains that her family always was betrayed, royal family. Her wish help, it sounds like he should take the throne sincerely. But her pride and a serious tone make it clear that she put into it offer all. Carlyle looks at her incredulously. He tries to understand. Really, Lee? She suggested himself as a wife only because of his loyalty and political considerations. Irina embarrassed by his straightforwardness. Having heard her answer, Carlyle expresses surprise. He didn't expect that Irina capable of such a step. Her sincere wish be useful makes him think about her true feelings. Suddenly, he declares that he has nothing against her suggestions. His calm acceptance makes Irina feel simultaneously relief and confusion. Despite Carlyle's words, Irene feels doubts. She can't understand. Really, is he sincere, satisfied her solution? And her heart starts to fight faster. Carlyle reminds Irene about her upcoming fate. He warns her from possible consequences, giving her another chance to reconsider your own solution. His voice sounds seriously. Suddenly, attention is transferred to Carlyle, where is revealed something unexpected. His torn cloth hints at hidden danger, adding intrigue to their interaction. Carlyle ponders the question, his nature, and is set. The question is not whether he is a monster. His inner conflict reflects the fear and doubts that torment him from within. He advises Irene think about it. His words before the answer, hinting that this may be her last opportunity retreat. His tone is mysterious, his gaze probing. Irina hides their feelings and thinks that it's not time, yet share yours with him. Emotions. Despite his doubts, she says that even if he is a monster, that is, it doesn't scare her. Carlyle asks, question why she is so eager for the title of Empress. His suspicions, it is obvious that he is looking for sincerity in her answer. Irina firmly states that if he becomes emperor, she won't just be beautiful doll on the throne. She intends prove that you deserve more. Carlyle suddenly softens and resembles Irene. About that, she today did the first step towards his smile becomes mysterious. You can read it in approval. In the forest, they are heard voices, and the guards rush to the couple. Irina accepts determined look, trying to protect Carlyle, despite the danger. Carlyle watches the approaching people in the forest and quietly notices that their help late. His tone is calm, but in his eyes, guessed voltage. Irina warns that among those who is approaching, they can be hired killers. She preparing for a possible fight, demonstrating his determination. Carlyle calmly says that it doesn't matter meanings, since his subordinates are already here. His confidence reflects power and control over the situation. Irina warns Carlyle, what if he doesn't leave? His personality will become obvious. Her voice is full of determination. She makes it clear that situation's serious and demanding immediate actions. Tension in the air, it feels like it's making you spectators worry. Carlyle, despite warnings, confidently answers that we'll find her in 10 days. His gaze is full of calm and determination. He demonstrates that ready take situation under control. His words sound confidence that strengthens trust in him. Irina, putting on her helmet, expresses concern for Carlyle. She says goodbye to him, emphasizing his status and her devotion. Her actions and words convey mixture anxiety and determination. Protect the prince any price. She reminds to him, be careful with Duke Lunin. This moment is permeated anxiety, because she knows that in the future, Paveluk will seize the throne. This is warning becomes key in their conversation. Adding drama. Irina riding a horse, thinking about what happened to the prince. Nothing bad will happen if he does attentive. Her thoughts full hopes, but at the same time hidden worries. A picture of her in armor against the backdrop of the night emphasizes her strength and courage. Carlyle, left alone, wonders question, is it worth it? Lee to him, fear uncles. His look directed into the distance, and thoughts are immersed in thoughts about betrayal. An atmosphere of tension and mystery envelops him, creating intrigue for the viewer. Empress receives a letter through Whitebird that makes her feel confusion and anger. She reads message, crumples it, and lost in thought, is indignant at the persistence his enemy hiding behind it message. Absorbed their own emotions, Empress Sharp sends away a servant trying to find out the reason for it worries. She secludes himself in order to comprehend situation, remaining tense from thoughts of failure. Empress peering into the flames candles, pondering what happened. Her plans again tolerate failure, and she is trying gather the will to overcome defeat. Anxiety and determination are read in her eyes. Confirmation letter, failure missions is burned in flames. Words about failure assassination attempt on Prince Carlisle disappear in the fire, and in the face of the Empress freezes cold determination promising revenge. Empress plunges into anger, deciding that Prince Carlisle will not escape retribution. Her anger intensifies against the backdrop of the flaming magical symbols, and the confidence in revenge envelops room. Irina, concentrated, reflects on the upcoming meeting with the Crown Prince, noting that there were 10 days left before his arrival. I am convinced that this time need to use for important affairs and preparation. Having collected her thoughts, Irina decides to dedicate these days training I'm sure that her current skills not enough to cope with the challenges that stand in front of her. Irina trains with full force dedication, recognizing that her physical fitness and skills far from perfect. She understands that in order to defeat Pavlik, she needs to strengthen her skills. Derek notices persistence. Irina, and with a slight reproach, reminds her of how due to health, she missed important one's moments. He advises her more to rest in order to avoid consequences. Overvoltage. Irina continues to prepare without taking advice. Derek to the heart. She is determined use the rest time to improve his forms, despite fatigue and risk. Irina feels weakness his own body and decides what she needs, strengthen physical fitness. She realizes that health is important to achieve any goals, and decides to do training. Derek notices her determination and approves her aspiration. Irina asks him, did he come? Does he train because feels like it's her time for action? Derek warns Irina from excessive loads, noting that her zeal may lead to fatigue. He gently smiles, supporting her enthusiasm. Irina thanks him for his concern and promises take his advice into account. The look is full of determination, and the smile on the face, confirms that she configured seriously. After training, Irina returns to his own responsibilities. She discovers that over time, a lot of absences have accumulated documents that demand her attention. She decides deal with them, but suddenly finds mysterious letter, Irina. I'm surprised. After all, she doesn't remember when it could come. Attentively looking at the letter with the seal, she finds out that it is from important figures, Southern aristocracy, Marisa Holland, famous their own secular events. In the letter is coming speech about the upcoming tea party. Irina thinks about it. Has been there she's on similar ones events earlier, but can't recall. Irina decides pick out a dress for a party, but runs into trouble. None of the outfits don't seem to suit her. That makes her feel lung disappointment. Irina continues searches, deciding that her appearance should correspond expectations on this important event, because she has to meet influential people. Mirabelle catches Irina to choose outfit and asks what she is doing. Irina confused sudden question and explains that is preparing for a tea party, which her invited. Mirabelle is surprises. She is set question why Irina didn't tell about it earlier. Her curiosity makes Irina reveal details. Irina explains that invitation she got some days ago, but I read it too late. Time remains very little, and her covers easy panic. Mirabelle starts worry, like Irina will have time to find a suitable one dress in such compressed terms. She voices their concerns, suggesting option solutions. Irina, I'm thinking, maybe Liso dress made to order, but Mirabelle notes that workshops overloaded because of the approaching Bala situation seems hopeless. Suddenly, Mirabelle remembers that there is dress that can hem. She offers his help, happily sharing idea with Irina. However, Irina refuses this venture's fearing spoil dress Mirabelle, her worries opinion surrounding, and she doesn't want put your sister at risk of being convicted. Mirabelle persuades Irina agree to her help. She offers in return a small favor, hoping that this will convince his sister. Irina, wary offer, asks what exactly required in return. Mirabelle with delight it is recognized that wants accompany her for tea. Flashback from life. Mirabelle, where she is shown fragile health. This explains why Irina at first refuses, but Mirabelle insists, because her interested meeting with daughter Marquise. Irina is surprised to learn about his daughter Marquise, whose reputation her amazes. Her internal confusion calls interest in further Fate girls. Helen Shelby appears. How embodiment, beauty, and grace, whose image was admired surrounding her light hair and elegance, are fascinating. Irina reflects on the fact that happened to Helen in the future. Memories and thoughts cause her anxiety and a desire to understand her fate. Irina shares that in the past, studied life aristocrats' empire of the Hornbooks, records and documents allowed her to learn many secrets of the nobles. Irina does not understand why Helen's fate turned out so tragically. This awakens determination, find out the reason for it, pain and fix errors. Mirabelle insists on his own participation in the investigation. She motivated memories and personal resentment that he cannot leave in the past. Irina and Mirabelle agree on joint actions. Mirabelle takes on preparation outfit, and Irina promises to persuade his father, let go of my sister. Mirabelle, full enthusiasm, trusts Irina and leaves, leaving her important part plan. Her ease contrasts with seriousness. Irina, Count Alfred Blaze, the head of the knightly order, is shown. How busy, serious man. His figure symbolizes order and severity. Irina recalls the last moment connected with the Count. The sight of his body on the fortress wall calls bitter feelings and regret about failure. Farewell. Irina and Mirabelle, standing in the hall waiting for their father, Earl of Alford, will return. Graceful stairs and light interiors emphasize solemnity, moment, excitement. Irina, it is noticeable. She finally will see father. Alfred, a tall, imposing man with a beard, enters the hall in a formal uniform. His appearance inspires respect. Irina greets father. Her voice sounds joyfully but reservedly. Alfred answers calmly, holding back emotions. The Count looked attentively, looks at the younger one daughter, Mirabelle. He softly asks if everything is okay, demonstrating care. Mirabelle assures him that everything is fine and smiles. Happy, long-awaited meeting. Mirabelle tells how she took care of her older sister, Irina. Her words sound sincerely, and the eyes glow gratitude. Alfred for a moment thoughtfully looks at Irina, noticing her endurance and calmness. Irina, smiling, asks if she was there. Is the road hard? Alfred answers confidently. His fatigue hidden behind severity. Girl sincerely worries, not missing out details in conversation. The Count apologizes for being late, citing unforeseen circumstances. He suggests everyone go to the table so that continue conversation over dinner, showing that appreciates this family moment. There are some things arranged on the table, a variety of dishes, from exquisite appetizers to colorful desserts. Mirabelle surprised by such abundance treats. She notices that Irina looks like thoughtful and a little other than usually. During dinner, Irina, with warmth, thinks how long it's been since I've seen her father. She tries hide their emotions, but in the eyes' readable joy, dinner atmosphere becomes more casual. Alfred turns to Derek, the eldest son, and is interested in his plans for fencing tournament. You can hear it in the Count's voice, pride. He clearly expects that Derek will represent the family. Derek confidently answers that is going to participate by demonstrating calm and determination. The atmosphere in the hall is family-like unity, where every feels important in this strong connections. Alfred discusses with Derek important solution, advising give your best to achieve the best result. He looks strict, but is confident in his abilities. Young men at that time. How Derek agrees. Keeping calmness. Irina is watching this conversation with sides, noting to themselves that their dialogue sounds as dry and formal as always. She slightly smiles, finding funny their unchanging communication style. Alfred turns to Irina, reminding her of her role. He mentions that if Derek successfully will show himself, they are waiting for him new responsibilities, which, in turn, will increase load and on it. Irina concentrated listens, father. and he reminds her of the need look after her younger sister, Mirabelle. His words resonate, how indication emphasizing her senior role. Irina answers to the father with a slight smiling, assuring him of her responsibility. She feels pressure their own responsibilities, but retains confidence, realizing that from it much depends. Irina reflects on his place in the family, remembering everyday responsibilities such as home housekeeping, caring for the men in the family, and guardianship of the younger one's sister. Makes her feel easy, sadness. Her thoughts are interrupted, and she admits to himself that sometimes she's it's a shame because of his position. This is the moment of her sincerity, when she allows himself a little weakness. Irina enters the office. Father, so that report important news. Her calm and determination show that I'm used to serious things, conversations, and knows how to take initiative. Alfred, busy with your affairs, carefully listens. Her Irina offers take Mirabelle to take with you to tea party, which suits Marquis Holmend. She wants to take care of sister, while combining it with social event. Alfred ponders, mentioning that state Mirabelle it has improved, but no one can predict her further well-being. Adds a disturbing note to Irina's plans, emphasizing her responsibility. Irina, with a look, convinces Alfred what her sister Mirabelle should participate in social life, like everyone else. She emphasizes attention to desire sisters, expressing determination support her. Alfred, skeptical considering the proposal, explains that this may be dangerous to health Mirabelle. Unlike Irina, who's stronger and more resilient, Irina insists that the sister deserves. Although would have one chance to fulfill her dream, she claims that prohibitions only will worsen state Mirabelle, demonstrating sincere care. Remembering her sister's request, Irina mentally makes a promise to himself to execute her desire. Her hands are tight compressed, expressing all its power determination. Alfred, after thinking for a moment, agrees, but warns Irina. What responsibility for the consequences will fall on her shoulders? Irina accepts this is with hardness. After solutions, Alfred reports Irene news. She received a marriage proposal from a noblewoman, families Morris. This turn of events becomes a surprise for the girl. Having heard this, is Irina sincerely surprised. She clarifies, indeed, the offer is addressed to her, and Alfred confirms that is considering this option. Irina expresses trust in choice Alfred, but emphasizes that once to her marriage brought maximum benefit their kind. Her prudence and devotion family are obvious. Young woman lists desirable groom qualities, high position, wealth, or mastery in combat arts, like her brother Derek. She shows wisdom, thinking through details. Alfred, sitting in the office, listens her words. He seems to appreciate her wishes and promises, take into account them in further negotiations, continuing save equanimity. Irina reflects on the need, prepare a backup plan in case the marriage with the prince fails. She decides to convey his thoughts to father. How can earlier, so as not to be left without a reliable exit from established situations. Alfred asks Irina about her ideal future husband. She replies that she doesn't care appearance and character, but the applicant must correspond. Although would be one of her criteria, her determination impressive father. Irina transmits Irzna, asked to take care of her sister Mirabelle at tea party. She emphasizes that Mirabelle soft and vulnerable, that requires special attention. Her caring for sister manifests itself in every one word, saying goodbye to her father for the night. Irina saves calm and polite, but inside her cover doubts. She understands that expectations from family advice is not always make excuses, but I'm grateful that family remains safe. Left alone, Irina immersed in thoughts about his family. She is set question of what I expected to meet my father, but I find the consolation is that her loved ones are alive and well. Irina notices brothers Derek remembers their care in childhood. When she was upset, Derek, always I prepared sweet cocoa for her, then raised mood. These memories evoke warm feelings in her feelings. Irina calls Mirabelle go out from rooms to start the day. Her voice sounds softly but persistently, showing that she takes care of her sister and tries maintain order and harmony in the house. Mirabelle is hiding under blanket, thinking that Irina won't notice her, but the sister will easily recognize her. Her joke. Mirabelle laughs, admitting his attempt hide. Adds to them communication with a touch of lightness. Remembering childhood, Irina feels how much its family supported her in difficult times. These memories of childhood care strengthen her determination, protect their own loved ones. Despite life's difficulties, Irina discovers Mirabelle, hidden under blanket in her room. "Surprised to find," she said with bewilderment, looks at his sister, who smiles. Embarrassed, admitting that was noticed. Irina is strictly interested in what does sister do in her room without permission. Mirabelle embarrassedly justifies herself by saying that she just wanted to spend the night next to her, trying soften situation. Irina reminds Mirabelle, "What, she is no longer a child, Mirabelle," looking down, explains that I was worried that father maybe spoil mood sister with his strict character. Understanding feelings, Mirabelle. Irina softens. Her stern gaze is changing kind smile. And she invites his sister to come over closer, leaving formalities behind. The next day, Irina and Mirabelle enter the workshop. Mirabelle enthusiastically, asks her sister to look at something special that she cooked. Mirabelle, with pride, demonstrates created by her dress. The luxurious design evokes Irina is delighted. She doesn't believe that dress sewn her sister. Mirabelle explains that I was involved in design, and the maids helped her with the sewing. Irina admires hidden talent of the sister and offers develop her capabilities. However, Mirabelle doubts that father will allow her to continue to do design. Despite her desire, she feels restrictions because of its strict rules. Irina, saddened by the realization own loss is freedom, but decides support my sister. She wishes that Mirabelle I was able do what she really wants to do, like they discuss, try on lie dress, and Mirabelle with joy agrees. The atmosphere between sisters becomes warm and encouraging, strengthening their connection. Irina appears in magnificent dress, receiving enthusiastic views. Her image radiates refinement and charm. Her sister Mirabelle was delighted, admires, calling her the best, and rejoices her success that makes the atmosphere even more warmer. Guests are greeted Marisa, elegant and welcoming, the hostess thanking her for coming. Goodwill creates a cozy atmosphere, emphasizing sophistication events where every feels myself important. Irina attracts attention surrounding. Whispers accompany her gait. People discuss her dress, wondering questions about his origins. She saves dignity, confidence moving in the crowd, and showing that her image deserves admiration. At the event, Irina expresses gratitude for the invitation, demonstrating respect and good education. Her manners leave nice impression on others, and her goodwill calls smiles. Marissa notes how Irina shines in this evening, celebrating her beauty. Mutual compliments emphasize friendly connection between them, adding an atmosphere of cordiality and warmth to their talk. Guests notice Irina and her sister, wondering the question is who they are. Strangers discuss their origin, assuming that they belong to a noble family. That only enhances intrigue around new guests. Mirabelle and Irina impressive his own appearance, and discussions surrounding move on to admiration. Their origin from influential families blaze. These whispers strengthen their position in society. Hidden envy in the eyes, some guests hint at rivalry. One of the ladies remarks how Irina pulls over attention that evokes something hidden in her irritation, adding drama into the atmosphere. Irina and Marisa greet each other, remembering how long it's been since they've seen each other. Marisa expresses sincere care, noting that she was worried about her health, what makes the moment touching and warm. Evening is ending. Recognition, Irina as the center of attention. Her sophistication and self-confidence distinguish her among the guests, emphasizing her status and leaving indelible impression. In secular, at the event, the maid, Sophie, notifies Irina that all the guests arrived and tea reception ready. Irina saves calm, but internal, the anxiety is obvious. It is feels myself stranger in this atmosphere. The mistress of the house, dressed with exquisite elegance, welcomes Irina, smiling. She expresses hope that guests enjoy time on this holiday. Irina thanks but keeps alertness. Mirabelle, Irina's friend, suggests after returns home order bake for your chef just as delicious cookies. Irina laughs, enjoying with ease their communication, forgetting about the formalities of the holiday. On the other hand, on the sides of the hall, Marissa and her friend are discussing Irina's appearance. They find her outfit is provocative, and they decide to teach her a lesson. noting that they will not tolerate such behavior on their territories. At this moment, one of girls who have conceived intrigue slightly taps her cup. Working out a plan site slides towards Irina with obvious threat. Irina greets Marissa and her company that start talk feigned friendliness. Between girls, it feels like hidden tension, despite external smiles. During tea parties suddenly sounds loud noise. Tea spills on the table. Irina surprised. Her sight stops at the culprit incident. Marissa apologizes, but her eyes, they give off a sense of gloating. Marissa's friend approaches Irina, checking to see if tea has spilled on her dress. Easy the touch, and her words seem too much caring that makes Irina tense up. She calms down, hooray, hiding embarrassment. Marissa gives an order to the maid fill the cups. Her voice sounds dry, and her hand gesture emphasizes arrogance. The atmosphere is heating up, but Irina tries save composure. When the servant pours tea for Irene, she notices something strange. Her alertness is getting stronger, and she understands what is behind this incident. There might be someone's evil intent. Irina, with suspicion, drinks tea, feeling that something is wrong with him. Mirabelle is confused, looks at her, afraid consequences. Irina cautiously decides hide their emotions so as not to cause suspicions. Realizing strange behavior, Mirabelle, Irina is wary. Her thoughts captivates assumption of betrayal. View girls becomes cold. She internally prepares for the unexpected actions. Mirabelle is in a panic, is trying react, but Irina decisively acting, beats down the tea so that avoid probable dangers. Situation becomes tense. Surrounding with surprise are watching what is happening. Irina understands that her sharp actions attracted too much many attention. She feels myself uncomfortable under views surrounding, trying maintain control over the situation. Marissa, noticing the commotion, comes over to figure it out. She surprised sudden behavior Irina and strives. Find out what caused it her actions. Irina realizes that should accept measures to protect yourself. Her determination becomes obvious, and confidence in actions is getting stronger. She understands that choice limited. Mirabelle embarrassedly explains that accidentally spilled tea while trying justify yourself. Her words sound unconvincing. Tension among present is growing. Marissa is trying calm down Mirabelle, offering to wipe her tears. However, tension and mistrust are saved, and Marissa strives calm down situation. Mirabelle gets lost in his own thoughts. Doubting. Diddly she, something is wrong? Her feeling guilt intertwined with indecision, causing internal struggle. Mirabelle pronounces name Irina. Trying to say something, her voice sounds pleading, but the outcome situations remains open, leaving tension in the air. Marissa's ball accuses Irina in slander, trying protect your reputation. Irina looks at her with a cold contempt, claiming that all of Marissa's words are lies. The atmosphere becomes tense. Marissa's friends start whispering. Marissa outraged. She reproaches Irina for the accusations, feeling that her dignity is at stake. Her face blushes with anger and humiliation. The assembled guests start attentively, keep an eye on them, squabble. Irina, the savor imperturbability, indicating that the tea served at their table was unusual. This detail makes all think about it. Marissa and her friend Marissa start exchange worried views. Internal thoughts. Marissa, they give out her panic. She realizes that she couldn't hide it, traces his own plan. Her covers wish immediately get rid of the evidence, while nobody, I didn't notice anything. In front of everyone, Marissa is in despair, falls on the table, pretending resentment. She is trying call pity surrounding, shouting about their innocence. Her friends rush to her, and the spectators are perplexed. Irina decisively declares that she will not allow the deception to continue. Her red eyes sparkle, and Marissa smiles evilly, feeling that we'll be able to get out of it from situations. Mirabelle is on the sidelines in confusion, watches the scene. She doesn't understand how Irina learned about the events, because she was in a completely different place. In her head, Mirabelle starts swarm suspicions, guests discussing the tea that was served at the table, and Mirabelle understands that the very drink that Irina was talking about, she starts suspect that this key evidence in conflict. Irina takes the teapot and with ice calmness offers Marissa to have some tea if she is so confident in her innocence. Her actions cause tension, as if she reveals trap. With a challenge, Marissa agrees. Having decided, pretend that everything is okay. However, her internal thoughts give out fear. She knows that won't be able to anymore hide their actions if the truth comes out. Irina, with a light smile, answers the question Mirabelle about her understanding the additive in tea. Leaving "it's a secret intrigue only enhances curiosity," Mirabelle. But Irina doesn't intend to disclose details. Reflecting on the past, Irina remembers incident with some share ironically, calling it amazing. Her confident smile shows that I'm used to keeping everything under control. Irina realizes that the enemy she has to face in the future will much stronger. This thought makes her focus on preparing for the upcoming tests. She thoughtfully looking out the window, thinking about what maybe conceive Crown Prince Carlisle. Thoughts of a place their meetings occupy her consciousness, but she remains collected and calm. Irina understands that today marks her meeting with the Crown Prince. She is considering how he will perceive her appearance, plunging into their experiences and doubts. Having plucked up her resolve, Irina does first step towards implementation his own plan, feeling that now the most suitable time for action, cup in her hand, symbolizes determination. Having given ordering the servants to prepare the carriage, Irina confidently declares its necessity, set off on a journey. Her determination inspires surrounding, and servants with readiness carry out orders. While being among crowds, Irina realizes that in public place much easier to attract the Crown Prince's attention. She watches the lively movement around, staying concentrated. Irina notices the smallest details, what is happening, and her suspicions are confirmed. She is set question whether she is right was in her conclusions, more and more delving deeper into my guesses. Walking through the streets, Irina trying to understand the meaning, all events. She analyzes what the current situation has led to situation, and with determination moves on, thinking about the future. Irina carefully makes his way down the street in the evening dress, hiding dagger under hem. She is experiencing mixture determination and tension, knowing that at any moment it will be needed. Protect myself. She reflects on recent events that forced her leave from Blaze, Castle ahead, costs. The goal is to find out who is behind the attempts chase her, and she full determination achieve truth. Her sight-filled determination, but deep down, eye is hiding anger. Irina firmly decides. She will not allow that her freedom again, someone put it under threat. Suddenly, he appears on the street, Carlisle. He suddenly enough Irina by the wrist to hold her, in the air tension. She feels threat, but his eyes express at all other. Carlisle, with a light smile. It is recognized that this turn of events amuses him. His words seem at the same time daring and friendly. That only enhances mistrust, Irina. Irina asks him to let go her, demonstrating firmness and independence. She makes it clear that she does not intend obey, even despite his title and power. Carlisle calms down Irina, stating that he did not intend to her to offend, but in his words, there is a hint that he understands perfectly well how much she is afraid of him. He explains that was forced to intervene, because for Irina started track after her care from the castle. His words leave more questions than answers. Irina asks, knows is he who is behind this. However, Carlisle offers find more first suitable a place to discuss details, hinting at hidden threat. They find themselves at a table in a cozy tavern. Irina, keeping alertness, sets questions about his condition. At the same time thinking about it, you can lay trust to the mysterious Crown Prince. Carlisle Van Dimitri, confident sitting in the room. He notices that Irina has questions that go beyond what happened to the pursuers. He emphasizes importance, honest dialogue. His voice is soft but confident. Irina, with anxiety, wondering from what moment Carlisle followed her. His answer blurs her suspicions. He claims that only defended her. Alertness in her look is changing thoughtfulness. Sitting at the table, Irina understands that Carlisle always was closer than she thought. This opening calls interior conflict mixed with gratitude and slight embarrassment. Carlisle explains that their meeting associated with the knight from her families that turned out to be among persecutors. He speaks of the need discussions these events, filling the moment with tension. Irina amazed, realizing that Carlisle almost guessed about her skills fencing. She reflects on how little he as yet knows, but his attention makes her tremble. She is trying to apologize to Carlisle by addressing him as to Majesty, but feels sincere gratitude for his support. Her embarrassment expressed in gestures and looks. Carlisle soft raises her chin, reminding her of her new role. His words sound as an order not to lower your head. That makes Irina look at him with surprise. He concludes by reminding Irene, what? She no longer obligated to nobody bow down, even to himself. His confidence gives her strength, awakening respect and hidden admiration. Irina, with a tense expression, persons, learned that behind the attempt on her life stood not only customers, but also mercenaries' families. Shelby, she realized the full weight situations, but at the same time felt fair indignation. I understand, despite everything, she considers the act of revenge wrong situation. It's heating up and it seems that calm Irina just about to happen will collapse. Irina looks like thoughtfully, puzzledly bowing her head. Her companion asks, wants she to know more, something. Tension in the air hovers as if a premonition of a storm. What else? Hides this history. What, Irina? Are you still ready to hear? Irina asks a question that makes think about it. She needs to clarify something important, that torments her for a long time. She tries control myself, but excitement gives out her, what a secret is about to happen, will it open? Irina and Carlyle look like thoughtfully, looking into the distance, engagement announcement, maybe call unwanted consequences. What did they plan? What history will they come up with something to deceive the public? Carlyle turns to Irina with a question. Does not want she to know more. Something he's trying, observe calm. But in his eyes is visible tension. Perhaps he is hiding something important. What waiting there ahead? Irina, with concern in her eyes, asks mine question. It can be read on her face, uncertainty mixed with hope. What is it about? Wants to ask. What kind of question is that? Are you worried? The Crown Prince, despite his outward appearance, calmness in his gaze, it feels like hidden emotion. You can feel it in his words, a contradiction, because he admits to an insurmountable desire that he cannot explain. Irina, with her eyes wide open with eyes and blush on cheeks, it is asked question about the meaning of his words. Does the Crown Prince really have some hidden feelings for her? Feelings. What is this irresistible wish? Carlyle and Irene are standing at the closed-one doors. Air-soaked voltage expectations. Irina decided tell to him that for a long time hid what did she wants, to him report. Which one? She has an important secret, decided finally reveal. Irina, with determination, she turns to the Crown Prince, with a glance puts forward conditions, striving to provide safety his own future. Her words are full determination and anxiety. Readily Carlyle accept her conditions. Carlyle tensely looks at Irina, asking her a sharp question. Really lay she thirsty power? His gaze is full of hidden anxiety, and in the air is hovering tension foreshadowing difficult talk. Irene, with fiery red hair and piercing eyes red with eyes, gives out only short, full distrust, exclamation. Ah! Her face expresses mixture surprise and suspicion, as if she is trying to solve hidden motives. Carlyle. Alfred, a stately, gray-haired earl with a head of hair and a stern expression faces, explains their motives. To stop Paveluka, he needs power, and he has determined her to find. Even if this is associated with great risks and sacrifices, Carlyle seemed to understand intentions. Alfred nods. He's ready, go for a deal, but at the same time shows hidden caution and distrust so as not to be deceived. But Carlyle, there is one condition. He wants real marriage with Irina, not a fictitious one. This statement causes Irina feeling inevitability, something unusual and possibly risky. Carlyle does more shocking statement. They should sleep together. There is seriousness on his face, and the words sound as an ultimatum. Irina, stunned by his proposal, recalls her past life. Then she was obsessed with revenge and had no time for love. But now, in this new reality, she needs someone with whom can be together. She understands that even despite the shocking offer, she has no other choice. However, Irina does not agree to a simple cohabitation. She speaks Carlyle, what considers his proposal too much hasty, hinting at the possibility something more than just physical closeness. In conclusion, Irene does not reveal their true intentions. She wants to be not just a wife, but a secret one, weapons Carlyle, a loyal and devoted ally, ready give everything for the common victories. Her determination, it's amazing. Carlyle, looking at Irene coldly with a glance. It is asked, the question is, are you ready? She will become desperate empress. His words are full tests, as if he were evaluating her determination. Irina clasps hands, pondering your own solution. She firmly decides that will become empress, so that protect your family. Her confidence and willpower make her move forward. Carlyle notices her motivation and states that her solution adds to him another reason to strive for the throne. He accepts her offer, as if seeing in this new challenge. Having heard agreement, Irina sincerely thanks Carlyle. Her joy sparkles in the eyes, but at the same time, she feels internal anxiety about the upcoming trials. Carlyle warns her, what this agreement will act only until he does her empress. His tone is stern and decisive, adding tension in the conversation. He then adds that after her formation's empress, she will become only his wife. His words sound how promise and challenge that calls Irina is confused. Irina starts doubt. Really, her efforts will lead to use her for the sake of other people's goals. Carlyle notices her hesitation and puts under doubt her intentions. Gathering her will into a fist, Irina accepts his terms. She agrees that, having become empress, she will be his wife. Emphasizing her readiness follow to this paths. Carlyle notes that he wants them to have in the future children. In his eyes, warmth appears. But his words sound ambiguous, hinting at complex feelings. Irina is shocked by what she heard. Face reflects mixture surprise and confusion, as if she doesn't know how to react to this revelation. Carlyle Van Dimitri looks sternly at Irina, stating that from this the moment he wants to, she called him by name, showing intention get closer. Irina stunned. Her embarrassment is clearly reflected on his face. Irina, having recovered from her surprise, tries to clarify how she can best approach him, address her face. It's burning. She didn't expect it, such requests from the Crown Prince. Carlyle, however, retains calm. His look is full of confidence. Carlyle reminds Irene about her request, pretend in love. He reproaches her in that, despite this, she was going to address him formally as your to His Majesty. His remark introduces her into awkwardness. Irina promises call Carlyle by name in informal environment, but warns that in public, she will have to observe formalities so as not to give away their pretense. Her words sound determination and caution. Carlyle leaves final, the decision is up to Irene, but she asks call him by name when they alone. Irina agrees. Her voice is a little trembling, but she finds strength in himself, say his name like installing new level their connections. Against the backdrop of a bright sunny day, a maid reflects on her contribution to the recent events. She feels myself undervalued despite all efforts, and worries that her relationship with Irina remain cold. The maids are discussing situation. One of them, with a challenge in her voice, believes Irina too much frivolous because of her night meetings. She is clearly experiencing irritation and does not hide his criticism. The second maid asks, question what happened to her. A friend who became ruder after the last one trips. Her concern grows up. She does not understand the reasons for such changes. The maid sharply answers that her actions justified because Irina is indebted to her. Her words sound resentment and desire prove her case. She configured defend one's position. In the heat of the argument, one of the maids reproaches another, stating that Irina shameless. Her words are filled with irritation and indignation. She clearly wants express your point of view and be heard. Scared blonde maid in horror exclaims, trying to understand what is coming, speech. Her words sound confusion when she hears accusations against Milady, as if this, something incredible for her. The dark-haired maid is confident states that drive Milady was only cover for meeting a man. That does her tone is more accusing. She assures that knows about the secret night meeting, which ended only at dawn. Scared, the blonde maid looked incredulously, reacts to the fact that her accused of involvement in night affairs Milady. She barely, maybe to utter words, justifying and stumbling. That adds dramatic situations. The red-haired maid, on the contrary, speaks with a cold contempt, claiming that even the help given to her does not change relationship Milady to her. She, dissatisfied, explains that revealed the secret only for the sake of truth. Carlyle Van Dimitri, eyeing contract with tough guys. Conditions prescribing obligations. His view, he is strict. He indicates that any additions needs to be discussed immediately, showing his imperious nature. Irina, looking straight ahead and with confidence, remembers your own desire to become secret, the prince's weapon. Her scarlet eyes glow determination, and her words are filled devotion and strength. Paveluk reflects on the approaching uprising. His cloaked figure, shadowed night sky, looks like threateningly, like as if he is ready, begins something great and destructive. In the glow stars, Irina stands in armor and with a sword, ready to protect the prince. I'm sure that her role goes beyond just partnership. Her oath sounds like call fate and enemies. Carlyle, keeping his arms crossed, stood firmly, declares that he will not allow Irene expose myself dangers. His words sound stern, but they read care and desire save her any price. The night scene turns around prophecy. First woman who became the wife of the crown prince will be unhappy. Silhouette women in a hood under the starry sky enhances the drama, predicting gloomy future. Irina, with despair in her eyes, asks Carlyle if he will allow it, should he do it to her? Something important. But he refuses, fearing for her safety, and explaining that this profitable to him. Irina decisively declares that it is ready to fulfill any wish Carlyle in the future, if he allows her to act. Her persistence surprises, and he begins to think about. Carlyle agrees, but on the condition that Irina will stay close to him if it will be necessary to protect it. It shows hidden care. Smiling at her, the contract states that Irene allowed hide your identity and serve as a knight at night. In return, she undertakes to execute any wish Carlyle. Irina, with anxiety, asks what will happen if she won't be able to execute conditions contract. Her seriousness makes Carlyle think about it. Carlyle puts new condition. She should promise that it won't happen, despise him for the consequences if the contract turns out to be broken. Irina embarrassed, but agrees. Irina assures Carlyle that will not happen. Condemn him as would no folded circumstances. She also wants to know what he will do if he can't follow conditions. Carlyle promises to execute everything that Irina will wish if he turns out to be wrong. Her request is to protect her family, even at the cost of his own life. Irina adds that Carlyle must promise not to allow family die earlier, him. If he breaks promise, he will give everything he has. There is. Carlyle seriously looks at her and gives his word that will perform promise. His determination shows that he is ready, do anything for her trust. Irina ponders how unexpectedly easy Carlyle agreed to her offer. She evaluates his calmness and tries to understand what hidden behind his determination. Feeling internal anxiety, Carlyle and Irene negotiate a contract. They decide create history to convince everyone in their love. Discussing the plan for the demonstration, romantic feelings at the ball. Carlyle offers play a prank love. At first look at the ball, so that produce strong impression, Irina agrees, considering this approach most convincing to others. Irina expresses his joy at the agreement, Carlyle. Preparing for their next meeting, she understands that their game will require thorough preparation and endurance. Carlyle notices that Irina is about to leave. He shows interest and a little reproaches her in a hurry. That makes her explain their actions. Irina explains that nights her families are probably already looking her. She decides to return home to avoid unnecessary suspicions and difficulties. Her annoys necessity hide their actions and constantly consider opinions surrounding. She understands that their game has serious consequences for her personal freedom. Carlyle assures Irina, what them need to speed up process to hurry up, solve all the problems. He hints at a quick new, I'll meet you in the capital. Before leaving, Carlyle insists that Irina hid their abilities and followed his advice. He sees this important part, their plan to achieve success. Irina doubts the necessity of his proposals, but feels hidden determination Carlyle. Their interaction starts fill tension and hidden interdependence. Irina, with gratitude, accepts attention. Carlyle, who says that any did, would this is for my own future wives. She can't hide easy embarrassment, feeling special attitude towards oneself. Carlyle represents Irene, his own subordinate. Kashu Kuna Young, human, looks like silent and somewhat mysterious. His cold sight causes Irina lung voltage. Irina, with a smile, greets Kasha, introducing herself. I heard that he will be her guard. Her manner of behaving calls lung surprise of those around, emphasizing her ease. Carlyle explains Irene. that Kasha is not very talkative, but she maybe rely on him completely. He asks contact him only in case necessity that causes Irina feeling reliability. Carlyle says goodbye to Irina, wishing her to be careful. His concern evokes a warm feeling in her soul, feeling she promises meet him again. Internally, feeling joy from his words. In the carriage, Irina tries to start a conversation with Kasha. She interested. Alwaysly, Carlyle leads feeling so detached. Her questions emphasize her pursuit, understand the prince better. Kasha replies that never heard of Carlyle, nothing like that. Makes Irina to think about why the prince seems so special to her, and at the same time mysterious. In silence, Irina realizes that Carlyle shows her a side of himself that perhaps no one else has. I haven't seen this one since thought worries and awakens a feeling in her exclusivity. Before leaving, Carlyle gives Irene instruction. If she will need help, she has enough will hang red scarf on the window. Makes her feel confidence in his support. Irina looks to him following, reflecting on his words and attitude. In her heart is a merging feeling that their connection becomes something more than just formal relationship. Irina, the owner of Bright Red Eye, promises support Mirabelle. If this will need, her confidence calls easy smile, creating an atmosphere of warmth between them. Irina enters the room where Mirabelle. She is sitting at the table with a book. She notices that Mirabelle was clearly waiting for her, preparing to discuss something important. Mirabelle tells that wants to discuss purchasing new one's decorations. In anticipation of ball in the capital seems excellent the opportunity to update your wardrobe. Irina is surprised by Mirabelle's words about the need new decorations, remembering that already existing quite good. Makes her feel lung bewilderment. Mirabelle gets enough from the box, a ring. Its appearance makes Irina wave memories, filling her heart easy anxiety. Irina remembers how in the past life was poor and sold her decorations. However, this ring she left as reminder of your pride, ring becomes a symbol of her for Irina last life. It kept secrets her origin, causing deep reflections on the past. Mirabelle, with enthusiasm, mentions that a new one has appeared in the city, new merchant, whose decorations are famous his own quality, offering visit it together. Irina, smiling, suggests put off. This is for tomorrow. She notes that it is already too much. It's late, and the day is drawing to an end. Their talk ends easy note expectations. Tomorrow they will go to the city to research new, leaving behind shadows, memories. Mirabelle, looking out from doors with a smile. He assures Irina, what they will continue talk tomorrow, her friendliness and openness create an atmosphere of coziness, emphasizing her sincerity and care. At the call, Mirabelle the maid appears, clearly agitated, not realizing that happened. Irina, who nearby, with bewilderment, asks what happened, however receives evasive answer that everything is fine. Irina, having thought about it, suggests maid help her take off her dress, emphasizing her confidence and authority. The maid hurriedly agrees, showing simultaneously loyalty and ease excitement. Maid, busy dress, with anxiety, asks Irina if she has any other plans for the evening. Her voice trembles with uncertainty, but she is trying hide their feelings, focusing on the task. Irina attentively looks at the maid, clearly wary of her red eyes permeate with a look, and she coldly asks what exactly the maid means. Her tone gives scene voltage. The maid begins apologize, hesitantly explaining that perhaps Irina is going to somewhere in the evening. Her words sound embarrassed, but eager justify oneself emphasizes her anxiety. Irina, clearly irritated, with an icy calmness requires explanations, insisting that wants to know what happened. Her determination and persistence make the situation tense, enhancing the drama of the moment. The maid with anxiety shared the rumors with Irene, assuming that she would every night leaves the mansion to meet with someone a man. Her face expressed fright, and his voice trembled with fear of the reaction ladies. Irina, amazed heard, asked a clarifying question, suspecting that someone intentionally spreads false information. Her red eyes shone determination, find out the truth. Irina asked coldly and intently. Not Sophia Lee is source rumors. Her voice was stern and her gaze soulful, making the maid nervous make excuses. The maid, experiencing obvious pressure, hastily stated that the rumors did not come from Sophia, trying avoid anger his ladies. Her face showed panic and confusion. Irina, feeling lung irritation and anxiety, she ordered find and bring the culprit immediately rumors. Her tone did not allow objections, but confident movements expressed readiness for decisive actions. Realizing that situation comes out of control, Irina I realized that changes are inevitable. She thoughtfully picked up a bright scarf, lost in thoughts about the upcoming conversation. Remembering devotion, Sophia, Irina looked out the window. She noted that she served them family until the very end, and this reminder caused her wave contradictory emotions. Deciding that she needed additional information, Irina stronger. She clutched the scarf in her hands, her sight was focused, and breathing even, emphasizing internal willingness to find out truths. Realizing that in order to solve, she needs problems, see each other with Kun, Irina gained determination. Her sight, he rushed into the distance, and his posture became tense and collected. Sophia, accused of distributing rumors, sobbed in front of Irene, denying her involvement. The maid screamed in despair, accusing another, the girl, in betrayal and setup. Irina, with light hair and cold expression faces, thought about her, the maid whom she considered too much desperate. Her red eyes were burning voltage, and internal struggle was reflected in her look. The maid, crying, begged her, "Give another chance," clinging to the fabric of her cloak. Her voice trembled with fear, and her face expressed despair, as if from this all of her depended on it life. Irina, noticeably irritated, internally reproached the maid for her careless actions. I thought that she didn't realize the full extent of it, his carelessness, and thought about the consequences her behavior. The maid, kneeling, cried out for mercy, Irina. Her hands were shaking and tears were running down her face, showing how much she scared fear and hope fought in her eyes. Irina, with surprise, I watched the scene without having time, even pronounced not a word. Her sudden restraint gave out confusion, but in her appearance, all equals felt power and confidence. The maid continued sobbing, "Contact Irene," but her prayers seemed useless. The tension in the room grew, reflected in everyone's movement and gaze. Irina made a decision, and with a stern expression, ordered maid leave. She made it clear that this her, the last gesture of mercy. At that time, how her red eyes sparkled, ice determination. Already in solitude, his own office, Irina thought about what happened. She calmed down myself for making the right decision and solution, and reminded to everyone about the important save secrets so that this doesn't happen again. The silence was broken by a knock on the door. Irina, that's it. More immersed in her own thoughts, resolved enter, without guessing who dared disturb her in such a tense moment. On the threshold, Kasha-kun, Carlyle's servant, appeared, called Irina surprise. She asked with irritation and caution how he was able to penetrate her estate, wondering about his intentions. Kasha-kun reports Irene that he was accepted work in the count's estate. Irina, surprised by his quick appearance, evaluates his professionalism. Kasha explains what it is for him. This was fast visit, though Irina considers otherwise. He adds that preferred wait dawn, so as not to disturb her late at night. Irina praises the speed of his actions, noting that he understood correctly her message. Kasha emphasizes that the general gave he is under strict orders to carry out all of her requests without exception. Having heard this, Irina thoughtfully smiles, realizing that now there is reliable performer. She internally rejoices at his words, realizing that maybe trust to him important assignments. Kasha clarifies that ready fulfill any her directions. His focused look and confidence produce the impression on Irina that makes her feel confidence in his professionalism. Irina asks Kasha to find out details about the current situations in the royal palace and in the capital's security forces. She clearly formulates the problem, making it clear that this is important. Kasha, nodding reservedly, confirms his readiness to begin the tasks Irina asks him to act. How can faster, emphasizing urgency assignments. Before leaving, Kasha asks if it's possible him in the future visit Irina at night, so that speed up completing tasks. His politeness and attention to detail are impressive. Irene, smiling. Irina assures that it does not matter to her, meaning when he comes. The main thing is that he fulfills her errands and brought necessary information. Leaving office, Kasha, with respect, says goodbye to Irina, promising to return as only will finish. In the air is hovering confidence that their cooperation will successful. Irina says goodbye to the interlocutor. Her face glows warmth and goodwill. Her bright red eyes reflect softness, but in it, it feels like determination to face the challenges ahead. After meetings, Irina. She heads to her desk, surrounded by stacks of paperwork, mentally prepares for work. Realizing that accumulated affairs demand her full concentration, Irina, raising her hand in a welcoming gesture, her energetic behavior fills the atmosphere with lightness, forcing Irina's smile from the unexpected attention. Mirabelle and Irina find themselves in a jewelry store. Mirabelle is surprised as considering bright necklace, wondering question about his origin. Irina watches her with interest. The shop owner explains that decoration, made from the rarest diamonds, Mirabelle is amazed by its uniqueness, and Irina attentively listens, pondering something. Salesman suggests going to other decorations. Irina agrees, with respect turning to Mirabelle, who with delight is coming following, without hiding his own enthusiasm. In the next department, salesman tells that any stone can transform into decoration. Irina listens with interest, mentally trying on proposed ideas for myself and Mirabelle. Irina notices yellow topaz and clarifies, "You can do from him." Hair clip seller assures that this perhaps, and promises that Job will be ready in a week. Mirabelle with a smile asks, "Wants Irina keep the hairpin for herself?" Irina answers that, according to her, in my opinion, hairpin perfect will do exactly, Mirabelle. In the final, Mirabelle with gratitude looks at Irina. Her green eyes glow with joy. Irina smiles back, feeling satisfaction from the fact that did something special for a friend. Irina, with kind regards, smile turns to Mirabelle, who is stunned tenderness moment. Her cheeks floods blush. Irina seems source calmness and confidence, and in the eyes, Mirabelle shines admiration, filling the scene with warmth. Mirabelle, shyly taking away look, suddenly decides that should choose something important for yourself. Irina soft pushes her to this, showing how important it is sometimes take care of your own desires, while not forgetting about loved ones. After long doubts, Mirabelle, smiling tremulously, chooses something that will become for her special a reminder of this day. Her gratitude and joy seem to light up the entire room, giving scene special significance. Irina and Mirabelle enter the store where their meets seller with a serious but interested attitude look. The atmosphere is filled, feeling antiquity and uniqueness. That calls lung both are nervous. Salesman notices ring on hand, Irina, and with interest comments on him. In his eyes flickers professional assessment, but also something more. Elusive connection with something important to him. Irina, noticing that salesman wants consider her ring, saves soft smile. She emphasizes that this ring has for her personal meaning, and she is not going to part with it, causing respect from the seller. The seller, having realized intentions, Irina, calm down, accepts her decision, but his view remains chained to a stone. In his head rushes by memory associated with something similar decoration, giving scene shade mystery. When girls are finishing their business, seller thanks them for the visit. Irina and Mirabelle exchange cheerful glances. Their faces illuminates happiness. Between them, you can feel warm connection, like their friendship grew stronger, more. The seller, left alone, cannot throw away from head's view of stone on ring Irina. He understands that this object is too familiar to simply forget it, and this thought worries him. Salesman remains in its own thoughts, pondering the meaning seen at that time. How Irina and Mirabelle leave with a feeling completeness and joy. Irina handed the mysterious object to the maid with a request to deliver it to the lordship. She emphasized importance findings, hinting that this may be to be what you have been looking for a long time. Viewer was tense, as if she had a presentiment, something important. Irina stood by the massive doors, thinking about the need check, strange events. Easy breeze fluttered her hair, enhancing disturbing feeling like something was missed or left unattended. Mirabelle, radiant energy, entered the room, Irina with a smile. She greeted the hostess, as if it was day-filled promises, new discoveries. Its simplicity, words warmed morning coolness. Irina, just waking up, asked for Mirabelle, prepare the bath. There was a confidence in her voice, like as if the day ahead was part clearly planned paths. Her calm and confidence created an aura of power. Looking in the mirror, Irina thought, aftercare Sophia, her former servant, the mood became better thoughtful. However, she felt a surge of strength, which added to her inner confidence and energy. Mirabelle reported that the Count had left for the capital on urgent matters, affairs. This message caused easy. Irina, who is not used to sudden events, is worried changes. However, the face remained impassive. Irina responded briefly to the news, agreeing with the inevitability, eyes sparkling determination. They gave out wish figure out what was going on. She had already started to reflect on the possible reasons for the Count's departure. Sitting in my room, Irina, I was thinking about how she would like more time to spend with the Count. However, his employment and hers own duties forced her keep your distance despite internal desires. Clutching the envelope in her hands, Irina mentally preparing for the next step. She understood that before leaving for the capital, she would have to again face the trials that will be tempered her will and character. Studying documents on her desk, Irina realized that the key to her next actions maybe is associated with the most influential man in the empire. Ruford's sight became foggy with determination. She prepared for a new game. Lies, intrigue, and power struggle within empires. Ruford Ophelia, cunning and powerful, the Empress took advantage. Weakness 6 Sullivan to strengthen your own influence. Her calm appearance hides iron grip. Pavluk, a king with a wise but stern appearance, also located under Ophelia's control. However, his expression faces hints that he is unhappy with this situation. Things, perhaps bearing own plans. Irina, young girl with bright red eyes, reads a book and reflects on the division power in the empire. Her sight speaks of determination and that she wants change situation around. She analyzes the power structure. Emperor gets 3 parts influences. The Empress, 4. Pavluk, 1. The rest 2 are getting family Kraus, who has powerful trading business. Irina understands that without support, family's Kraus will be hers. Difficult resist Ophelia and Pavluk. This thought inspires her for further actions despite the obvious difficulties. Her reflections are supported by documents that she managed to obtain with the help of faithful ally. Irina admits that she could not have coped with such a difficult task alone business. Carlyle's servant, Kasha Kun, brings her more information in the shortest possible time deadlines. His attentiveness and professionalism cause Irina respect and admiration. She is surprised capabilities porridge to extract such valuable information and decides to ask for more family data. Kraus, her curiosity and devotion to the point are growing. Before departure, Irina talking to Derek, who shows care and promises protect her. His confidence gives her a feeling security, helping save determination in every scene conveys tension and dynamics relationships, showing how heroes cope with intrigues and find a way to their own goals. Irina and Mirabelle are enjoying journey that we waited a long time. Irina is shared the joy of adventure, and Mirabelle agrees. Feeling rise emotions and atmosphere filling their day is happiness. Mirabelle, lying in bed, is recovering forces after ailments. Irina carefully is interested her well-being. Having made sure that everything is fine, she tries calm down your friend by creating a cozy atmosphere of care. Irina, with warmth in her eyes, promises Mirabelle what soon will become warmer. Trying cheer up her despite her fatigue, she decides to go away in order to decide affairs, having warned Mirabelle so that she wouldn't wait for her and could rest. Mirabelle expresses regret that she has to cope alone, but she still calms down. She looks at her with gratitude and trusts in her words, that all under control, between them reigns touching care. Irina decisively goes out into the corridor, full thoughts about the need to complete their affairs. How can rather her sight become serious, and inside her is born new wave determination. During his own paths, Irina feels someone's presence. In the silence of the corridor filled with mysterious light, she tenses up, feeling like her heart speeds up the rhythm around her silhouettes is growing voltage. Entering her room, Irina notices Shadow. She was perplexed, asks who this and why. Here hides her voice is full of firmness, but at the same time, hidden worries, while she looking for answers. From darkness appears Carlyle, who asks in a calm voice how Irina became aware of his presence. His gaze, penetrating deep into it, creates an atmosphere of mystery and tension expectations. Carlyle explains that he brought what Irina asked him for. He admits that decided waiter in the room, but hid so as not to disturb hers. Theirs talk is filling up hidden emotions and questions. Irina cautiously asks how she was found. Her tense look and serious tone convey hidden anxiety, but at the same time, determination is visible. Find out the truth, even if she won't like the answer. Smile, Irene. She becomes a little mysterious, reservedly hints that he is not going to disclose their own methods. Her tone expresses a slight cunning that enhances tension in dialogue. Kasha-kun presents Irene papers with information. Her gratitude sounds sincerely, but in her eyes, you can see a glimmer hidden concerns. It is important to emphasize that the interaction is not just business. Irina explains what she needs to do, a matter that requires her attention. She saves calm, but her movements indicate that her thoughts busy something serious. Trying not to attract attention, Irina tells Kasha that there is no need for an escort, but her sight shows hidden anxiety, as if she has a presentiment upcoming difficulties. Kaisha is passing on. Irene the General's invention is a device capable of call help. Her attention to detail gives away understanding possible dangers with which she maybe collide. Irina promises take advantage of device in case dangers. Her voice sounds confidently, but her red eyes remain focused as if she preparing for something difficult solution. Leaving room, Irina says goodbye coldly, leaving Kasha alone with his thoughts. In her figure, readable mixture, determination and sadness, like as if she is ready to sacrifice something for the sake of something important, goals. Kasha notices suffering girl with green eyes, lying on the floor. Her weak voice conveys pain and despair. She barely capable explain that this is exactly what is happening to her. Kasha is worried, leans over Mirabelle, trying to understand what exactly her worries her. The condition is clearly serious, and there is tension in the room increases as premonition something scary. Mirabelle woke up in the room and was surprised I saw it in front of me. Stranger with dark blue hair, she asked fearfully who he was, feeling like anxiety fetters her thoughts. But the voice of a stranger was calm and confident. Kasha-kun, who came up to her, said that her health is important and advised to find a painkiller in the room. Mirabelle. I felt his words and caring touch, called warm feeling thanks. Looking at Kasha, Mirabelle noticed his deep eyes and dark hair that seemed familiar to her. She thought that his presence as if reminded her of the road toy from childhood. Embarrassed by his thoughts, she suddenly felt the warmth spreading inside her heart, filled up tenderness, and she, as if would I saw my teddy bear in Kasha, who always brought her comfort. Meanwhile, Bartori, the girl with fiery hair, completed her deal, holding the precious stone in her hands, accessory. She was pleased, looked at the decoration, passing money for it to the seller. Finished business. Bartori said goodbye to the seller, saying that comes back home. Her calm concealed some mystery that left the feeling that she knew much more than she said. Before how leave, Bartori called her name. She introduced herself as Bartori Koban. This point was emphasized her the majesty and power that hid behind her mysterious smile. Salesmen wished her to return to their jewelry store, but Bartori was already there, focused on her own thoughts. Irina, who was watching her, felt that someone became her chase. Irina noticed how they are pursuing, but didn't have time, get at a dagger hidden on her ankle. She felt like shadow threats becomes all closer, forcing her move faster. Realizing that she had no other choice, Irina gathered all her determination. In her eyes flared up confidence, and she was ready to face any danger that stood in her way. Irina mentally convinces herself that should do everything possible to achieve his goals. In her look are burning sincere intentions and readiness fight. Carlyle Van Dimitri, Crown Prince, with a slight smile turns attention to Irina, who finds herself in his arms. She is shocked, but tries save calm, looking at him with a slight surprise. Carlyle suddenly appears before Irina, announcing his intention meet her. His confidence makes her feel uncertainty, but she is trying answer quietly, hiding internal confusion. Irina, finding herself face to face with Carlyle, explains that she was heading to the hotel. Internal thoughts reflect surprise and slight shock from the unexpected meetings with the Crown Prince. Carlyle offers go together, ignoring the possibility that there can see Irina throws at him attentive look. Her embarrassment is intensified by his closeness and persistence. Carlyle utters a phrase hinting at desire. Find himself with Irina in a situation that could become scandalous. She is clearly at a loss from his frankness, trying to understand his motives. Irina recalls that their first meeting was take place at a ball, where they were to love each other at first sight. Look, she worries that their current meeting maybe violate move stories. Carlyle, with some bitterness, admits that spending time with Irina more difficult than fight in battle. His words reveal his hidden vulnerability and feeling loneliness. Irina is being asked question, then she is engaged in. Her thoughts are filling up doubts. She starts to realize that events are developing too much quickly, leaving her confused. Carlyle shows his straightforwardness by stating that will be with Irina, no matter the circumstances. His confidence mixed with light smile that leaves Irina is confused. Irina, with a serious, the expression on his face reflects on his feelings, Carlyle. Her red eyes radiate mistrust, but in her thoughts pops up the realization of his respect for her that calls lung confusion. Carlyle suddenly berates Irina by the hand and confidently leads her behind him. He is adamant, and his gaze is full of surprise, but she does not resist, feeling the strength of his determination. In front of them is a shop-decorated sign with a helmet symbol Carlyle reserved, but determined seller greets and asks them question looking for lay. They something specific. Irina chooses mantle, pointing to one of hanging on the wall. The seller is willing answers that all is in there at the disposal, and Carlyle attentively is watching her choice. Between Carlyle and Irene, it begins serious conversation. She trying to understand his intentions, and he calmly explains that the situation does not allow be together. She remains unrecognized. Irina, with a challenge, notices that he doesn't want to so quickly to part. Her eyes are burning confidence, and she offers temporary solution to hide her personality. Carlyle smiles, reminding Irina that he is crown prince and never hid his identity. Even in the midst of battles, his confidence and pride cause respect. Irina, his frankness amazes her. She easily agrees with his logic, although in her, it is clear at a glance that she all more reflects on the situation. A moment of understanding sets in between them. Carlyle beret, mantle, and puts on Irina. Their closeness underlined easy romantic atmosphere, as if the surrounding world disappears. Carlyle, with tenderness smile, asks. Satisfiedly, Irina looks at him warmly, and a warm feeling is established between them, silent consent, complete trust and respect. Carlyle confidently speaks Irene that his behavior is just pretense in love worker. He looks at her with a sly expression, creating there is a feeling that there is something hidden behind his words more. Irina embarrassedly agrees, follow him. Her red eyes radiate tenderness and uncertainty. She is clearly trying to understand the true intentions, Carlyle. In the dark carriage, under with light moons, Irina with concern asks, is it convenient, Carlyle? He calmly assures that, to him, comfortable, creating voltage between their frankness. Irina, noticing the intense sight, Carlyle tries to understand his motives. She is embarrassed, but her voice is firm, demanding explanations for his behavior. Carlyle frankly admits that soon they will break up and he wants to enjoy the moments with her. His sincere words surprise and touch Irina. Thoughts, Irina full doubts. She ponders, flirts whether he or speaks the truth. His words ring true too much naturally, so that belies. Irina realizes that Carlyle still has a lot hides. She asks him to be honest, expressing sincere desire to understand his true intentions. Carlyle, after pauses, agrees tell the truth if she will insist. His expression shows internal struggle. He admits that they have already met earlier. But Irina, she doesn't remember this surprised and starts recall past. On her question of time, their meetings, Carlyle answers evasively. The atmosphere becomes tense, and memories Irina wake up. Irina, with a determined expression, looks at Carlyle, who mysteriously smiles. She expects an important explanation, but he promises, tell this is next time. Leaving, she was perplexed. Irina does not hide his own disappointments. She considers such behavior unfair, because her patience is running out. Her red eyes express mixture resentment and persistence, because she wants answers. Carlyle asks, Irina think about him before their next meetings. His words sound simultaneously mysterious and attractive, forcing her think about his true intentions. The farewell moment arrives, and Carlyle says that it came time break up. Irina persistently reminds to him that he owes contain your own promise and tell everything next time. Leaving, Irina turns around with a slight smile and wishes good luck. The appearance suggests that despite the separation, she all more hopes for a meeting and answers. Carlyle looks into the distance and admits that he already misses Irina. His tone and thoughtful expression faces emphasize sincerity and some regret. The maid reports Irene about that Mirabelle fainted. Irina looked worried, finds out why she wasn't told about this immediately, and expresses your own bewilderment. Irina, relieved, notices that Mirabelle tightly sleeps and looks calm. She feels like voltage subsides. And finally, maybe a little exhale. Attention, Irina, attracted by the coat belonging to Keisha-kun. She picks it up and thinks about the events associated with its owner. Her thoughts are clearly filled excitement. Looking at the night sky, Irina remembers how this human left her with a lot questions. Her determination to find out the truth is getting stronger, and the red's eyes look into the distance with strength and confidence. Irina quietly leaves from rooms, offering to talk to the maid. In her there is a wariness in her eyes, but she remains reserved, inviting to discuss something important. The maid follows her, slightly worried but submissive. Irina asks the maid, knows is it the one to whom it belongs, found clothes. The maid embarrassedly making excuses. He admits that he doesn't know, and explains that left the room briefly to raise the temperature. Irina reproachfully looks at the maid, emphasizing importance her responsibility. She hints that her actions could lead to serious consequences, causing the maid to feel guilt. The maid asks forgiveness. Irina, although strict, decides to forgive her, but warns that in the future, mistakes are not allowed. Her sight penetrating, reminding of seriousness, said, the maid sincerely promises no longer leave Irina alone, sounding touchingly and repentantly misconduct. She clearly wants to earn trust his ladies. Irina asks the maid to be careful when expressing caring and worrying about her safety. This unexpected softness points to her hidden kindness and affection. The maid gives solemn promise, be attentive. Her eyes shine determination. She's sincerely grateful for the opportunity to correct their mistakes and wants show your loyalty. Irina asks question about Mirabelle. Her voice sounds worriedly. She finds out that Keisha-kun left your Mirabelle coat. What adds intrigue in this situation? Kasha explains that helped Mirabelle because she lost consciousness. Her grip on his coat left no choice. His words sounded confidently, but slightly tensely. Irina, having listened explanations. Kashi understands situation, her voltage. A little falls, and a smile appears on her face, easy, a smile of acceptance, situations. Irina thanks Kashakuna for her assistance help, apologizing for what I didn't do of this right away. Her words look sincere, and she emphasizes the importance of his actions. Kasha, embarrassed, modestly replies that all happened accidentally. Porridge sincerely claims that appreciates what made for Irina, and adds that she to him very expensive. His look serious, and the expression faces emphasizes his affection. Irina asks Kasha to check provided information about the family Kraus. She apologizes for keeping him waiting. A tension arises between them, tension. But conversation remains business. Mirabelle, sitting with Irina in the room, remembers a man who resembles her teddy bear. She has shared this observing with a friend that calls Irina was surprised. Mirabelle specifies that she talks about a man with dark blue hair, but Irina denies that I saw someone like that, claiming that I don't understand who I'm talking about speech. Mirabelle tells that she tried to hold on to the mysterious man, but he left expression, faces shows, lung disappointment, and curiosity, relatively personality's stranger. Later at night, Keisha appears in the room, Mirabelle. He leaned over her, and she looked surprised. Notices that he is not a teddy bear. Their dialogue becomes tense. Mirabelle, that's it, more amazed, notices similarity between Kasha and her bear, turning attention to the same hair color. This adds oddities in their night meeting. Kasha, looking at Mirabelle, suggests let go of his coat. To she, I was able call someone. Her reaction transmits internal confusion and light confusion in the current situations. Mirabelle, tormented with longing, reflects. Will meet Li Shi against someone she wanted so much. I would like to leave her nearby. The look is full of sadness, and the bed is soft light rooms create an atmosphere of loneliness. Sophie, the energetic maid, finds herself under a stern gaze, girls who insists on clarification. Her family ties blaze. There's a note in her voice mixture, curiosity and hidden voltage. Sophie hurriedly confirms that exactly she served the family. Blaze, her excited movements and sincerity, emphasize her readiness. Explain oneself, despite the hidden anxiety. Young woman sets Sophie a condition. She will receive something important if honestly will answer her questions. Authoritative tone and seriousness expression. Her faces make it clear that talk accepts serious turn. Sophie, emboldened, decides reveal the truth about why she was fired from Estates Blaze. Her sight is on fire, determination. After all, she sees a chance to justify herself and tell all. Sophie explains that reason her dismissals became a Lady Irina. She has shared revelation about the night meetings. Elena with the unknown, a man that, according to her, became for her fatal opening. Sophie, remembering past Xiash in rage, clenches his fists as he tells how Irene fired her to silence her. This scene is full of emotions that enhance the drama of what is happening. The girl, apparently accepting heard, tells Sophie to rise from her knees. Her voice sounds calmly, but the eyes they say that she does for himself conclusions. Sophie, standing up, continues story about family Blaze girl. Again occupied relaxed pose with a cup tea, carefully listens, evaluating every word. In conclusion, young woman delves into a document that appears to contain key information about important man, Evans Krauss, the elder chapter families that continued to lead family, despite age. Irina thoughtfully reflects on how conquer location person on whose help she calculates. Her face expresses anxiety, but the look directed into the void that emphasizes her internal struggle and the desire to find a solution. During train travel, Irina and Mirabelle are enjoying surrounding landscape. Mirabelle, full joys, admires nature outside the window, and Irina, holding a book, watches it, happy emotions, gaining calmness. Irina notices how is improving mood Mirabelle. She feels it's a relief that all turns out for the better. This fills her thoughts about the past that did not overshadow their relationship with Kim. The teddy bear dressed in Kim's coat symbolizes deep attachment Mirabelle. This gesture expresses her trembling feelings and tenderness, memories of those moments that remained in her forever heart. Mirabelle attracts attention. Irina to the beautiful flower outside the window. Her eyes glow sincere with delight. Irina supports her friend, sincerely dividing her surprise and finding joy in such little things. Nature outside the window amazes his beauty. Meadows covered flowers, reminiscent Irene about peace and harmony. She enjoys a rare moment of serenity, immersing yourself in the beautiful views as if forgetting about worries. Irina wants to, Mirabelle was for real happy. She watches her joy and pray that this moment lasted forever. Her thoughts filled with warmth and care, revealing her kindness. At the gate estates, there meets Butler with a friendly smile. His politeness and professionalism create an atmosphere of calm. Irina and Mirabelle feel myself welcome guests in this stately home. Butler seems to be like Kim, working in this estate. His confidence and friendliness straightaway cause trust. Irina remembers that she has met him before, and this opening surprises her. Irina realizes that Kim is the one who crossed her fate in the past. Her sight expresses mixed feelings, from surprise to awe, because their meeting in this place seems destined for her. Mirabelle, shining smile, unexpectedly notices how Irina intently looks at someone. With curiosity, she is interested. Knows Lee Irina of this person. Girl with red, with eyes embarrassed, clearly hiding some secret. Irina, lowering look, tries explain your own behavior. She, it is recognized, that was. A little stunned, but her voltage gives out internal excitement. Mirabelle continues watch her with ease. Smile. Kim, having met with a glance from Irina, softly apologizes for the fact that put her in an awkward way position. Irina is trying, look confident, but blush on the cheeks says that she feels myself uncomfortable. Mirabelle with suspicion remembers his own father. Wondering question why it is missing. Easy anxiety reflected on her face, but she tries save calm. waiting explanations. Kim, noticing the confusion, explains that His Excellency is absent. His voice sounds confidently, but in it can be heard a hidden note of regret, as if he too dissatisfied established situation. Irina, looking into the distance past, mentally notes that everything remains the same as before. She sad notices that this human always was too much busy. What did meetings with him are rare and valuable. Late in the evening, the silence is broken by a knock on the door. Irina, lying in bed, is wary, listens to the sound. Her red eyes glow in the dark, and she asks herself, who could come at such an hour? Kim, apologizing for being late, Visit, be careful, enters the room. He explains that came to discuss a matter concerning outfits for the ball. His politeness and cool tone create an atmosphere of restraint. Hearing about the dresses, Irina sits up on the bed and is surprised looks at Kim. Her voice reflects uncertainty, and in the eyes, readable bewilderment. She clearly did not expect such a turn of events. Irina, lost in thought, remembers that these dresses were bought especially for an important occasion. Lightweight smile appears on her face, but internally the tension doesn't leave her. Leaving reader in anticipation continuation stories. Irina, with excitement, looks at dress that she was going to wear to the ball, it perfect, but something seems wrong. What makes her think about his condition? Her anxiety is getting stronger. Kim, worried, reports that looked into the suitcase and saw that all the dresses were spoiled. His voice sounds regretful. He tries explain situation. Irina outraged. Her red eyes shine anger when she requires immediately show her the damaged one's dresses. She is clearly ready for action to figure out. The suitcase is open, and inside lie down spoiled fabrics. Irina, looking at this, tries to understand how this could happen. Her thoughts focused on finding the causes. The maid reports that she noticed the damage while transporting the luggage after their arrival at the estate. Her voice trembles. She worries because of what happened. Irina asks questions to the security guard, so that find out was Lay. There is someone suspicious nearby, but he assures that around there was no one. Situation remains mysterious. Thoughts. Irina busy with the ball, which will take place in a few days. She understands that order, new dress, it will be problematic, and he is thinking about it. Options, solutions. Kim says that usually in a carriage there are 2 servants present, but this time there was only one. This seems to him strange and makes one wary. The maid remembers that one of girls, Tilda, asked to leave her in the carriage, saying that she felt ill. Her words cause suspicions. Irina, realizing importance clarifications Destiny's Tilda, asks key question, where she now? Her sight-filled determination and concern. Maid reports missing partners. She worries and admits that this calls worry because disappearance inexplicable, and its causes seem to be strange. Irina, standing out his confident posture and insightful with a glance, accepts solution, takes situation under control. She firmly states that we'll sort this out, question, and makes it clear that he will not stop until the truth is found. Irina ponders over the details of the incident. She comes to the conclusion that behind this, someone can stand carefully planned actions. Her eyes are burning determination, and thoughts focused on searching guilty. Looking at her interlocutor, Irina gives her straight lines questions about behavior Tilda's before disappearing, girl with blue with eyes slightly nervous, but assures that nothing unusual not noticed. Interlocutor recalls that Sophia, their general a friend, recently talked to Tilda. This seems strange to her, because their friendship always was strong. That does situation more mysterious. Irina thanks interlocutor for frankness, but internally understands that of this not enough. She decides contact Sophia, too, to know more about what's going on and find out what she maybe hide. Irina gives orders to his assistant, Kimu, find out details related to Sophia. She suspects that she might be important a link in this chain events, and carefully ponders every step. Kim is willing, accepts indication, and promise, do everything he can. His serious sight emphasizes devotion to the cause, but determination to execute the task does not leave doubts about his abilities. Meanwhile, Irina discovers dress that belonged Merbel. This enhances her suspicions, because exactly this one thing missing, I especially loved it. Look, Irina becomes thoughtful, and thoughts focused. Irina decides collect more information to once and for all sort out the confusion situations. She preparing for a new one meeting with people who could shed light on the disappearance tildes. Irina, lost in thought, says to herself that tomorrow will be for her loaded. Her expressive red eyes, they look into the distance, and you can read it in their faces, easy concern. Lighting adds dramatic her image. Kasha-kun, a faithful servant, meets Irina is at the door and asks how he can help her. Irina stands in front of him with an expression confidence, and her posture and look speak of readiness for action. Irina asks Kashi about the events that happened the day before. Her tone is stern and her eyes full determination, sparkle, while Kasha seems to find her questions inconvenient. Kasha briefly confirms her assumptions. His gaze is full of hidden worries, but he remains restrained. In response, Irina understands that her guesses were faithful, and in her eyes flickers shadow doubts. She specifies, knows whether the crown prince spoke about what happened. Question sounds persistently, and her posture gives it away tension. Kasha assures that information reached the addressee immediately. Irina is outraged that the crown prince is always aware of every little things happening in her life. The look is full of indignation, but in the voice there is a note of sarcasm, hiding disappointment. Kasha is evasive, declares that it will not comment this one situation. His tone is dry, but his gaze gives out interior conflict that makes Irina think about his intentions. She decides that the situation is not so important that worry, but still her torments. The question is why the crown prince is so intent watches her. Her posture expresses thoughtfulness and lightness, irritation. Irina gives Kasha a straight answer question of possibility, meeting with His Highness. Her voice sounds decisively, and his gaze is full of confidence that her request will be completed. Tension in the air, it gets stronger, but Irina remains concentrated. In her eyes, readable wish, achieve justice and find out the truth. Irina receives a letter with red seal. She looks at him in surprise, clearly not understanding what this is for the invitation. In her eyes, readable intrigue, how as if she is ready to solve the mystery. Kasha-kun gives the letter to Irene and says that, this a message from the general. He clarifies that her invited to the opera today in the evening. Irina amazed unexpected, but accepts invitation. Late in the evening, under with light moons, Irina appears in exquisite in the evening dress. She notices hanging fabric around scenes and is set. The question is why she was here posted. Irene is met backstage, and with restraint, I asked her follow him. His manners inspire trust, but he hints at something hidden that causes Irene lung anxiety. Entering the box, Irina. She is surprised that this is the first time she has ever sat in such a privileged place. Her sight glides over the luxurious details of the theater, awakening delight and excitement. Suddenly, she meets Carlyle, who sits waiting her, his calmness and confidence impressive. Irene, he says that idea hang the fabric to deliver it secretly, was successful. Irina, surprised, asks what he means. Carlyle, smiling, replies that her beauty exceeds all expectations, making she will be embarrassed and feel unusual attention. Carlyle adds that her appearance is, so it's great that he's ready, protect her from any other men's glances, hinting at his jealousy. His words sound dramatic but sincere. Irene is shocked by what she heard. She admits that I've never heard such aggressiveness compliment. Her heart freezes with excitement, but she saves calmness. Irina thanks Carlyle is for the compliments, but asks not to exaggerate. Considering his words, excessive soft answer hides internal awkwardness, but their meeting remains touching and bright. Irina approaches Carlyle, who is sitting on a red sofa, in a room with a muted lighting. Carlyle invites her sit down, keeping calm and confidence between them, hovers feeling significance moment. They are sitting together, looking at the theater stage. Carlyle. It is admitted that I've never been in anything like this before. Places, as his life is connected with the war. For him, this important experience. And he wanted to share it with Irina. Irina, with slight surprise, asks how Carlyle was able to get it so prestigious places. Her question sounds with a hint easy mistrust. Carlyle, with a mysterious smiling, he replies that he simply bought them without giving any thought to this big values. Irina internally surprised by his actions. She understands that even for the crown prince to get such places are not easy. Thoughts her full admiration and incomprehension at how he could handle it so easily. Irina, slightly worried, notices that Carlyle may have spent too much many funds. However, Carlyle confidently assures her what money doesn't play for him no role, and his attention fully focused on her comfort. Despite his confidence, Irina expresses the opinion that buying a lodge is already too much luxury, her embarrassment noticeably, but she tries to speak with restraint so as not to offend him. Carlyle with a smile answers that the cost does not matter meanings, especially when her look at him able to make him do it everything that she will wish. His words are full sincerity. What else is he stronger? It's confusing Irina. Irina, feeling how much he loved her, appreciates, reflects, how Carlyle speaks so easily. Similar things. She embarrassed, but her heart is filling up warm feelings that she, by afraid to voice it. Irina, reservedly, thanks Carlyle for his attention, but with noticeable anxiety asks him in the future more spend money wisely. She looks like worried, perhaps because of the seriousness situations. Carlyle, with a smile on his face, he promises to discuss the details later, after endings operas. His calm and confidence, they say that he doesn't perceive her anxiety as a problem. They sitting in a luxurious theater box, immersed in the atmosphere of the opera. Irina realizes that Carlyle did her a huge favor by providing their such rare and prestigious place. However, Irina understands that, despite the price tickets, such places almost never happen free. She ponders how much unusual their current situation, feels confusion. Her attention gets distracted from the performance, and she notices that he can't concentrate. Perhaps it is connected with her internal experiences or thoughts about the future. After endings evenings, Irina relieved notices that they left the theater without attracting attention. Extra attention. Her anxiety retreats, and she for a moment relaxes. Carlyle, with a share ironically, he notes that he did not expect that Irina will be so worried about possible rumors about their relationship. His remark makes her feel some confusion. She explains their motives. The goal is to stick to an advanced, thoughtful plan to convince your family of their imaginary feelings. Her voice sounds decisively, but in her, the tension is visible in the look. Carlyle assures her, what they already did, a lot to success was guaranteed. It shows calm and confident, trying cheer up Irina and reduce her anxiety. The final moment shows their readiness for further actions. Carlyle reminds that the ball will take place very soon, and they will be able to execute conceived. Irina agrees. Although everything is in her voice, more heard, shadow doubts. Irina thoughtfully looked out the window carriages, thinking about where they are heading. Her thoughts were busy expectations, upcoming events, and attempts to understand the motives his own satellite. Carlyle calmly reported that they are heading to dinner, because earlier they never done of this together. His confidence and calmness called Irina lung embarrassment, but she agreed. Thinking about the proposal, Irina thought that dinner was before there will be no engagement superfluous. However, her worried that his confidence seems too much natural, as if he was experienced in such things situations. At dinner, Carlyle noticed that Irina looks like sullenly from the moment of arrival. He asked, did not like, is there a place for her? His question was suddenly caring that caused her lung confusion. Irina, having decided be honestly, admitted that the whole situation amazes her. I'm surprised that Carlyle rented the whole restaurant. His gesture seemed too much to her generous. Carlyle answered her doubts with a slight smiling, interested, worried, his extravagance. His confidence made Irina think about his motives. She nevertheless admitted that she has doubts there is. Her thoughts started fill up questions about where Carlyle got it from such means, and why he is so confident, myself leads. It was worrying that Carlyle looks like too much natural in his role, as if he had huge experience in similar situations. I tried to suppress my embarrassment, but my feelings overflowed her. Carlyle distracted her from thoughts question. Remembers how much he won fights. His words sounded like challenge, forcing Irina to realize its power and influence. Her astonishment only intensified when he casually added that fights was too much a lot to remember them all. His ease and confidence left Irina confused and slightly admiration. Carlyle, confidently smiling, asks question that makes think about what others think they're going to the proceeds of his victories. His words are imbued challenge and mystery. Carlyle explains that the status of the crown prince is not so clear. Cut. He emphasizes that nobility depends on origin mothers, hinting at vulnerability, his own provisions. Irina shocked to learn that Carlyle's mother was maid. Her face expresses mixture surprise and regret, adding drama to the discovery. Story reveals touching scene, love between the king and the maid. This is romantic a performance, but a story emphasizes that reality is far from a fairy tale. Carlyle admits that he can't too nobody trust. He decides part income from their victories transmit palace, showing its strategic wisdom. Irina shocked the realization that life Carlyle full tests. She starts see him in a new one light, with admiration reflecting on his resilience. Suddenly, against the backdrop of the night cities, is happening intrigue. Male villain is preparing blackmail. He mentions the scandal between an aristocrat and a Lady Blaze, emphasizing his self-interest. This human sees opportunity to get big money from Lady Elena. His cunning expression faces transmits the greed and cunning of his plans. His plans are collapsing instantly. Unknown attack thwarts his attempt. The villain's scream and the flash of blood create a sharp contrast to the silent nights. Kasha-kun, faithful subordinate, Carlela, carries out the order. He does not give to the villain run away. His cold determination adds tension to the climax. Keisha, wrapped in a cloak, with a gloomy expression, faces wandered around the night streets. His thoughts were heavy as the air itself around him. He's like justified himself to the victim for the hardships that life. She blamed him, saying that this was fate and that he shouldn't be blamed. Irina, with bright eyes, full energy, met Carlyle with warmth and lightness provocation. She attracted attention his beauty, creating an atmosphere of ease. The look and words are like awakened in him, emotions that he tried to suppress. Carlyle, without giving away too much many emotions, calm answered her that all passed as he expected. However, it was obvious that he sincerely wanted to hear her opinion. Their talk looked like how dance, where every step was thought out. Irina with delight expressed your own admiration, emphasizing that time spent in this place. It was real for her, special. Her sincerity lit up in Carlyle, easy smile that was a rare phenomenon. Their conversation continued, and Irina suggested more often together visit operas. I was glad that Carlyle responded with a slight ironically, noting that such evenings are clearly becoming tradition. In the opera hall, she noticed that Carlyle wasn't particularly inspired to all happening, but his gaze gave out sincere interest in her joys. She assessed his sacrifice, understanding what he was doing, this just for her sake. Their views met, and this moment became key in their communications. Mutual understanding and warmth permeated the atmosphere, as if there was between them invisible bridge connecting their souls. Irina felt myself embarrassed, noticing how he watches her closely. This moment of vulnerability forced her think about how important he was to her and why he was so patient. Carlyle admitted that only she attracts his attention in this place. His words filled with its warmth, revealing the sincerity of his intentions and emphasizing his affection. Irina, I realized that, despite his dislike of operas, he attends there exclusively for her sake. She realized how much he values her happiness that made her more appreciate his presence in her life. Irina, with curiosity, asks Carlela, does he know that promised tell her something important? However, he pretends not to understand what it is about is coming speech, distracted by tea, adding mystery in them dialogue. Recalling the past, Irina says he mentioned their meeting in the old days times and promised reveal details. Her eyes full expectations, but the tone gives away tender curiosity mixed with slight excitement. Carlyle seriously pronounces that the given word obliges him to keep the promise. His look shows solid confidence, as if he was ready to open something significant and important. He says that, for the first time, saw Irina when to him was 13 years old. This happened in the royal palace. He raises his cup, but there is a hidden meaning in his words more than it seems at first sight. Irina, surprised, specifies that he met her in the palace. Her sight becomes thoughtful, and the tone of his voice gives away easy confusion, and desire to understand what is coming speech. She remembers your own childhood, telling that big part spent time in the South Estate, Blaze. This moment awakens warm but vague feelings in her memories of childhood. However, Irina remembers that in childhood, rarely I've been to the royal palace. This fact makes her wonder if their meeting really take place. She's surprised. Really, Lei? This the only thing he wanted to tell her. Her sight becomes a little more serious, and the voice takes on a light tone reproaches. Carlyle smiles, answering that there is no other answer she couldn't get away from him, expect. In his expression, readable a hint of some secret that he may not be in a hurry to reveal to disclose. Irina feels that something important was left outside stories. Her intuition suggests that this story only parts something more than that. Carlyle hides from her. Irina reflects on his random meeting with Carlyle, considering her too much insignificant enough to mean so much. She is set question why he is so kind to her now, experiencing simultaneously gratitude and embarrassment. Carlyle answers mysteriously, leaving hint at his own true motives. His words, spoken with a light smile, enhance the atmosphere of mystery and evoke in Irina more questions than answers. Irina accepts solution. Remember everything that connected with this, considering that this will help her figure out what's going on. Around it has an atmosphere of warm comfort, emphasizing importance moment. Carlyle, reserved looking at Irina. He admits that he is impatient waiting her actions. His confident sight transmits feeling expectations and hopes, adding tension in their dialogue. Carlyle teases Irene, hinting at the choice her ball gown. Its calm and slightly mocking expression faces transmits warm a friendly note in their interaction. Irina suddenly understands that it all forgot about the dress. She happily wondering where nearby you can find a suitable store, hoping fast decide this question. Carlyle reports Irene that the nearest boutique is far away, but assures her, "What will decide this problem myself?" Irina feels myself a little. It's awkward, but I'm grateful for his support. Irina expresses sincere appreciation. Carlyle for help, feeling unexpected relief. For her, their communication becomes more significant than she expected initially. Carlyle puts condition. Irene should accept his choice outfit without objection. His decisive tone makes Irina smile, and she agrees. Showing trust, Carlyle promises send person to deliver the dress soon. Between them is established lung tension-filled emotions that only strengthen their connection. Carlyle, the crown prince, sat in his room when Kim disturbed his privacy. Despite his displeasure, he still allowed tell him, hiding their emotions behind the stern look and cold tone. Kim came over to apologize, saying there is urgent news. His voice sounded, it's alarming, because news touched important matters that could greatly affect plans. Carlyle. Intelligence reported that one of Rat's enemy sides was caught, but another suddenly disappeared. This has caused suspicions that enemies possess high mastery secrecy. Carlyle saved cold calm. Clarifying the reason for the failure, Kim explained that traces all objects surveillance are lost. These the enemies clearly knew their own case. After a short dialogue, Carlyle decided stop discussion. Considering it completed, his voice was solid, and Kim left room, leaving the crown prince to ponder the situation. Irina, noticing the tension on Carlyle's face, asked softly, "Is that all? Is he okay?" He assured her, "What it's not hers, care," trying hide their worries about restrained calmness. However, Irina was perceptive. She warned that problems inevitable if something happens to him. Her sight was full of care and hidden concerns for his safety. Irina, with a slight smile, reminded to Carlyle about the day their first meetings. She knew he could forget, but for her, this was an important event that determined her attitude towards him. Restrained but determined, she reminded that the goal is to protect it at all costs price. Her words sounded sincere and willing to donate for his safety. Carlyle silently watched her, seeing in her eyes sincerity and strength. Her determination evoked in him not only surprise, but also light-feeling confidence that she's nearby. Irina extends his hand, wrapped in shining magic, confidently stating that will protect Carlyle. There is a ring in her words, unshakable determination that makes him think about her true force. Irina, with pride and seriousness in her gaze, reminds us of her role as the sharpest blade for defense Carlela. Her determination as if illuminated room shining light. Mirabelle, joyfully beaming, discusses with Irina the upcoming gift is a dress that she will receive from a friend. Her eyes full, sincere admiration and delight from this event. Irina calmly confirms that dress will be ready and will be handed over to her on time. Her words convey confidence, and the beauty of the shining red eye adds grace to the moment. Mirabelle rejoices possibilities again visit balls. Her sincere delight contagious, and she doesn't hide how dear such things are to her moment's joy and communication. Irina, holding the cup in her hands, with a slight smile agrees with Mirabelle. She confirms that the person helping her really, very good that causes both warm feelings. Sight Irina is aimed at a cup of hot drink, and it as if drowning in thoughts about how important it is to have support. It seems to her that the kindness of such a person is rare treasure. Carlyle offers to take Irina home. Celebrating late hour, his care and confidence add the stage an atmosphere of trust and mutual respect. He offers Irene to go horseback riding, but she notices that the time is not right suitable. There is a feeling between them, lung tension mixed with tint humor. Carlyle, hugging Irina, says that wants to. She was frank with him, she slightly embarrassed. She answers with a look full of sincerity, and a special moment is born between them, proximity. Irina sat in a luxurious living room with warm smiling, thinking about the person whom she considered worthy. She held the letter in her hands, absorbed in her thoughts, and felt confidence that is doing the right thing. Late in the evening, Bartori in black in a raincoat stood in the shadow by the window. Looking around, movements were cautious, but anxious was growing. She hid in silence, planning their actions under cover of night. In the dark, Bartori thought about the assignment, his own the owner, complaining about the oddities and difficulties tasks. Her thoughts were full regrets. After all, everything could have been simpler if would circumstances folded otherwise. Tired and irritated, Bartori wondered how to find the mysterious draconium pearls. Her exercise it seemed impossible, especially considering that her target was related to more alive crown prince. Irina discussed situation with Kasha-kun, but did not receive the answer that expected. Her sight became more focused, and thoughts tense. She was full determination, achieve clarity. Kasha-kun, in a reserved and formal tone, explained that the crown prince could not refuse to participate in an important event. His words sounded like justification, but there was something in them, inevitability. Irina thought about it, she came to the conclusion that the crown prince still intended to be at the party. In her eyes reflected discontent, but she kept her emotions under control. Servants of Irina were revived because of what's happening on the estate. The girl thoughtfully asked why today it's so noisy around. It feels like event accepts, all larger scale. Mirabelle explained that the upcoming festival is dedicated construction flower bridge. Her delight and genuine astonishment called from Irina feeling anticipation, though her thoughts remained focused. Having learned that at the festival, the crown prince himself will be there, Mirabelle has become even more animated. Her joy was infectious. But Irina remained collected, aware that upcoming events will be decisive. Irina remembers past where bridge collapsed due to design weaknesses, which led to numerous wounds. She feels responsibility and anxiety, realizing the dangers associated with this place. In thoughts, she notes that tried convince Kun to stop Carlyle from visiting dangerous places, but her attempts were futile. Irina is experiencing mixture disappointments and worries. Realizing inevitability situations, Irina accepts solution. She asks Kun to deliver a letter to Carlyle, showing his seriousness and determination in his intentions protect the prince. Kun receives a sealed letter, red seal. This moment symbolizes determination. Irina and her readiness act, despite internal doubts. Irina specifies that Carlyle will appear at the festival in the evening. Having learned about this, she accepts solution, hurry up and get ready. Realizing that time there is little left, focusing on your own actions, she decides thoroughly prepare to go out. Feeling responsibility for safety, Carlyle, and the upcoming meeting. Inspired by his role night, Irina decisively reminds himself that must save Carlyle by showing her loyalty and strength of spirit. Meanwhile, Carlyle, having received the letter, is confronted by a knight in black armor. He is puzzled, trying to understand the meaning messages and what is happening around. Knight explains Carlyle what came to his defense, reminding him of the fourth point of their contract in which was stipulated the possibility of such development events. Carlyle realizes seriousness situations, but expresses concern, considering this too much dangerous. In his eyes, readable conflict between trust and fear for Irina. Irina, dressed in black armor, declares its importance in the future event. Her determination emphasizes burning red eyes that are visible from under her helmet. Her words sound like promise. Protect someone who needs it. Carlyle, with a cold one, calmness looking at Irina, accepts her offer. Despite the internal doubts, he agrees with her words, asking, "Be close." Their views meet that adds tension of the moment. Irina, without looking away confirms her determination. Her confidence in your words makes you Carlyle to understand that she is not just a warrior, but a reliable ally to whom can trust in any situations. Carlyle, resolutely pointing the way, says Irene follow him. There is a note in his voice, authority and confidence leader, and in the eyes, readable a hint of trust that gives Irene confidence in their union. Gennard, watching this scene, with discontent asks question of personality, Irina. His expression shows mistrust and hidden jealousy that adds tension in their three-way relationship. Carlyle, impatient objections, answers. Gennard, what of it? Moment, Irina becomes his knight. Carlyle's words sound, how an irrevocable order that compels Gennard to shut up. Gennard, indignant, tries object, but Carlyle fast interrupts him, introducing Irina as a new ally. His authority is overwhelming resistance, and Irina receives first recognition. Carlyle calls Irina by name, celebrating her significance. At this point, it becomes obvious that between them is formed a relationship based on trust and mutual understanding. Into the dark, rainy evening, Carlyle refuses listen any objections. Gennard and states that his decision, finally Gennard, albeit reluctantly, gives in, emphasizing Carlyle ice willpower. Riding on horseback, Carlyle, Gennard, and Irene discuss mysterious event, destruction of the bridge. Irina ponders about who would stand behind this, and decides find out the truth that will lead them to new one's tests. Knight on horseback turns to a new companion, hinting at his inexperience. Angry sight, Irina passes on the helmet her indifference to these words, but in her silence, it is felt hidden tension. Knights continue ask questions Irene, accusing her in ignoring them. Irritation it increases, but it remains silent. Her concentrated sight hints that in her thoughts, hidden action plan. Irina mentally reflects that before the bridge collapses, she needs to urgently evacuate all of them. Her sight is on fire, determination, despite the persistence, external coldness. One of satellites are rudely accused her in arrogance, adding that her name, Irina. He bends down forward, trying impose your own opinion. Tension between them grows. Another knight reproaches satellite for harshness, recalling that the crown prince personally brought Irina. His words hint at her special status, but this does not weaken voltage. Suddenly, to the group is approaching man, stopping everyone. His powerful voice and decisive tone make knights stop disputes. Situation becomes more serious. Appears military man, and states that without confirmation, personalities no one can continue on his way. His confident sight emphasizes hardness solutions. To the man's words, Irina doesn't react. Her face remains dispassionate, but her eyes show that she evaluates situation, perhaps counting on the unexpected move. Man tries to grab Irina, but her fast actions knock him out saddles. Everyone freezes in shock from her determination and strength that previously nobody expected it. Having dropped man, Irina points the sword towards him. He is stunned and questions. Understands Lee, she. Who is she against? Her silence enhances tension in the air. Irina holds her sword at the ready. Her words are cold. She doesn't care about what's happening. The knight in front of her is clearly scared, but he tries save face. Irina recognizes in the knight the one who dared to draw his sword in front of the crown prince Carlyle. Her sight drills the enemy. Red eyes shine in the darkness, enhancing voltage. Knight threatens to the girl, assuring that her insolence will not pass with impunity. His face distorted by fear, but it sounds in the voice despair, hiding weakness in front of her confidence. Young woman warns that, if the knight won't leave, she will deprive him of his head. Her voice is icy, and her sword is already raised to strike. She starts countdown, and nerves knight at the limit. Her countdown continues. 3, 2, on 1. Knight understands that he doesn't have time reply. A look appears on his face, despair. Tension reaches limit, but unexpectedly there interrupts. Appears Carlyle on horseback. His sharp order saves Knight from the inevitable deaths. Girl lowers the sword, giving in the intervention of the crown prince. Although in her look, readable discontent, Carlyle praises her for her courage, an unexpected side of character. His confidence impressive the girl, but she doesn't let go. Possibilities remind him that he took the risk himself with his life. Carlyle answers calm down. What he is not going to die. His confidence causes a girl easy mockery, but in her eyes visible a hint of respect for his courage. Carlyle adds that monsters are not easy to kill, and his confident smile leaves with the girl contradictory feelings. Their talk is changing thoughtful silence. He reminds her of fairy tales where the unusual often becomes real. Girl is silent, thinking about his words, and their views meet, creating an atmosphere of mystery trust. Irina and Carlyle discussed complexity murders their opponents, noting that they do not respawn after death. Carlyle confidently finished conversation, hinting at his own superiority in knowledge and experience. Carlyle, with a glance, asks Irina, "Indeed, Lee she intended kill Knight." He explains that Knight connected to influential people, families that does situation more complex and dangerous. Irina, full determination, offers to return and eliminate threat. Her decisive look and confidence emphasize her readiness act, even in dangerous conditions. Carlyle, with a slight smile, notices her courage. He is as if admires her courage, but in his eyes, it's drafty, hidden concern for her safety. Later, Carlyle. They report that he is expected in another place. His subordinates respectfully accompany him, emphasizing his high status as crown prince. One of Knights apologizes to Carlyle, admitting that lost an important item. It promises immediately go in search of him and how can return with results faster. Blonde satellite, Carlyle sharp asks Irina, realizes Lee she consequences their own actions. His anger expresses anxiety about possible problems caused her actions. Carlyle reservedly, but confidently, orders Irene continue mission. His tone makes it clear that he completely trusts her abilities. Irina, left alone, plans check bridge. Her thoughts, full determination, complete the task and return to Carlyle. How can faster? Penetrating into the darkness, she notices absence traps and strives. Get information. Her caution and concentration emphasize seriousness. Her missions. Irina, dressed in dark armor, exploring bridge, discovers strange object on the wall. Her what is alarming is that this turns out explosives. Suspicion of forgery capture her thoughts, and she feels that should to act. She is being asked question how something like this could have been on the bridge and who is behind this conspiracy. Excitement it's growing. After all, the bridge is important object and threat destruction becomes all more obvious. Hidden in the shadows, figures bandits discuss their plans. They think explosives not enough to destroy bridge completely and decide to add more to guarantee complete destruction constructions. Irina, hiding nearby, watching the action bandits. Awareness their intentions makes her heart to fight faster. She understands that he cannot simply stand aside and watch what is happening. Suddenly, her notice and bandits start act. One of them shouts about the enemy that attracts attention, the rest, and the situation becomes tense. Irina preparing for collision. When her attack, Irina confidently reflects the blow, demonstrating their skills. Bandits shocked her speed and skill. The question is who she such hangs in the air. But Irina remains silent, concentrating on the fight. Seeing that hide there is no point anymore. She decides show their opportunities. With cold determination, she draws her sword. Ready fight and stop conspirators any price. After danger past, Irina returns to the residence. Her meets Carlyle, who looks like surprised her appearance. It is asked question where she kept disappearing. This time, but do not rush to reproach. Silence. Irina alarming Carlyle. But more the smell of blood that bothers him most is she brought it with her. He understands that for her, absence is hiding something much greater than she is ready to tell. Irina, keeping silence, leaves. Carlela is in doubt, her thoughts busy that happened on the bridge. She has to decide how tell the truth and what do further to prevent further threats. Irina, with eyes and bloody stains on the armor, stands in front of Carlyle. She justifies that maybe explain everything that's happening, though tension in the air is growing. Carlyle sharp asks, "The question is who is to blame for the incident." Irina denies his guilt. That causes him suspicion and persistence. Find out the truth. Carlyle accuses Irina in that she did something serious. Despite his harshness, she assures that everything is fine with her and nothing serious happened. Irina, she insists that she was not harmed and that she does not even have scratches. However, she insists that should report important information that concerns common security. She tells that discovered people who are trying destroy bridge. She indicates that the attackers have already planted explosives and are planning her activate. Carlyle decides act immediately. He instructs Gennard destroy explosives and interrogate the criminals to find out who is behind this costs. Irina continues follow Carlyle at that time. How does he come out from buildings? He has accompanied Gennard and his subordinates, ready to carry out the task order. Subordinate is trying attract attention. Carlyle to introduce him new people. However, the Crown Prince is focused on the current situations, demonstrating seriousness intentions. Carlyle, the Crown Prince, with irritation looks at the subordinate, making it clear that takes him out himself. His stern look and harsh words emphasize discontent, creating an atmosphere of tension. Irina in a mask intervenes in the situation by asking Carlyle, realizes does it have consequences their own actions? She reminds him that rumors about his behavior can harm reputation royal families. Carlyle dismissively answers that to him, indifferent to rumors. His confidence is based on the fact that he is the future emperor, and this justifies his authority and freedom of action. Irina reflects on power Carlyle. She admits he is right, but wonders the question is why he uses her to show cruelty, and that drives this behavior. Carlyle suddenly reminds Irina about them contract. He reproaches her for that it works independently, though promised report to him about all dangers, and not to take everything on myself. Irina explains that she couldn't wait. She decided fast eliminate threat because bridge could explode at any moment, exposing dangers set lives. Carlyle is not calming down. He is worried that Irina could have been hurt. This awareness makes him angry, change anxiety and despair for her safety. Carlyle, it is admitted that anger caused by fear for Irina. It's hard for him, realize that she is at risk, because her life for him, more important total, the rest. Irina is trying, explain that her actions are necessary. She emphasizes that prevented a disaster, despite the fact that had to act decisively and alone. Emotional tension weakens Carlyle, feeling contradictory emotions, finally softens, realizing that his fear for Irina caused not only duty, but also sincere feelings. Carlyle is worried, explains Irene. How much dangerous was her last mission? After all, if she died, he would. I couldn't live for myself anymore. Thoughts about her deaths. They scare him and deprive him peace. He continues by sharing his fear that his life lost what's the point if would be with Irina. Something happened. Carlyle realizes that he couldn't to carry out their dreams without her support. Irina turns to Carlyle, softly calling him by name. She reminds him about his agreement, where she agreed marry him. Married so that he could become emperor, thereby sharing the burden with him, responsibility. However, Irina emphasizes that her consent to marriage does not mean refusal of her personality. She doesn't want to be simple doll in the palace, emphasizing his independence and strong character. Carlyle regrets that he cannot understand her completely, but he is sincere wants accept her by all its edges. He is ready support Irina. How would know folded their further paths? Irina confidently states that remains herself. She emphasizes that her personality is multifaceted, a refined aristocrat by day and a brave knight at night. This struggle inside her does her strong. She persistently asks, Carlyle, don't try change her. She wants save equilibrium between their roles without losing internal freedom. Her words sound firmly and decisively. Carlyle welcomes warmly her position. He asks Irina, be careful when she again takes risks his life. showing how much she is important to him. Her safety for him, priority. He assures that he does not intend to change her. His request to Irina is simple and sincere. To stay yourself, Carlyle appreciates her, such as what she there is, with by all her complexities and contrasts. In the morning, after a heart-to-heart talk, Irina, looking at the clear sky, quietly wonders question about the weather. Her calm tone and thoughtfulness reflect interior peace after night experiences. Irina, standing by the carriage, listened the servants remark that the weather in the capital is always remains the same. Her sight expressed easy, tired. For now, she thought that, maybe fall ill right before an important ball, the irritation grew. While the servant was asking her get into the carriage, Irina reservedly agreed. But her tone was sharp when she ordered another servant to bring the things. Her face showed cold determination, emphasizing her pride. Already in the room, passing by the mirror, Irina deep in thought. Inner the name, Lady, sounded in my thoughts, blaze, like as if past knocked on her door, consciousness, reminding of something important. Irina, being in her room, looked worried when heard a knock on the door. She invited visitor, and her red eyes met sight Kim, who was clearly going to report something serious. Kim told about the disappearance of the maid Sophia, who Irina ordered to find earlier. Irina remained reserved, but her eyes issued concern when it became clear that nobody knows where she now. Questions, Irina showed her suspiciousness. I was wondering where I was last seen. Sophia, when her thoughts started to form a picture of what happened. Her sight was strict and focused. Kim reported that Sophia became addicted to gambling games, which led to her dismissal and complete loss money, the last time she seen in company suspicious men, after what she disappeared. Irina listened to Kim express himself assumption that this man could be a high-ranking aristocrat. His influence allowed people and events to be hidden, leaving questions without answers. Her intelligence worked non-stop when she tied up what is happening to the higher society. Irina understood that situation much more difficult than seemed. And her intuition told me that there was something behind this, is hidden something more. The emotions on her face were combined determination and hidden alarm. The inner voice was already pushing me to the next step, to find out truth any at a price, without paying attention to obstacles and dangers. Irina, strict and collected, communicates with Kim, asking him to inform if will appear new information. The atmosphere is filled hidden stress, emphasizing importance their dialogue in luxury room. Suddenly, into the room bursts in Mirabelle. Her face expresses worry. She, in a hurry, calls Irina, assuring that she needs see something urgent. Situation promises intrigue. Irina, together with Kim, follows Mirabelle. They find themselves in a spacious, the room where their sight falls on a strange man with a cold look. This causes in everyone questions. Mirabelle nervously explains that opened one of the boxes found here. Curiosity made her see what inside. Her astonishment is transmitted to the audience. She hands over Irina the box, emphasizing importance, her contents. View. Irina becomes tense when she takes this one in his hands, mysterious object. Kim asks question about the sender. Hoping to get more information, the man responsible for the delivery explains that he was carrying out only assignment. Courier reports that content was intended. Senior daughters, families, blaze. This one information causes Irina certain guesses and strengthens her alertness. Kim presents Irina's letter. She's surprised this event. Her eyes are filling up interest and ease anxiety. It seems she did not expect such a turn of events. Reading the letter, Irina is confronted with a message in which mentioned their old promise. This makes her recall something important from past. Irina understands that the letter is from Carlyle. Her face reflects mixture surprise and warmth, hinting at personal connection with this man. The plot ends on a note, mysterious expectations. Mirabelle with joy turns to Irina, demonstrating his interest in the gift she received. Irina looks like slightly puzzled, but in no hurry share details, causing Mirabelle curiosity and surprise. Irina, embarrassed, smiling. He admits that the man who promised sent her a dress. Unexpectedly changed your own solution, Mirabelle. However, sees this something unusual and considers situation interesting. Kim carefully listens, orders Irina. She instructs to him to attribute clothes in the dressing room, demonstrating confidence and calm. Kim, reservedly expressing respect, agrees to execute her request. Mirabelle admiringly is considering new dresses, shining beauty and grace. She notes that these outfits, similar to famous ones, dresses kingdoms. For Gran, famous his fashionable reputation, with enthusiasm, Mirabelle asks Irina, why doesn't she want to? Tell about the person who sent it. Dresses, her eyes glow curiosity, and the voice is full of excitement and desire to know more. Irina answers that this willet is difficult because sender preferred stay anonymous because of his shyness. She looks at Mirabelle with a slight smiling, trying to soften her pressure. Mirabelle suggests that Irina very dear to the sender. Otherwise, he would not have done such things to her valuable gifts. Irina is surprised by such an assumption and categorically, this denies. Mirabelle ponders out loud, noting that it was unlikely someone would send so many outfits to the person who to him indifferent to. Her face expresses sincere bewilderment and attempt to solve the riddle. She indicates decoration among gifts and says that I've seen it somewhere before. Decoration shines beauty, and Mirabelle is trying to remember where exactly she could meet him. Mirabelle concludes that sender must be a really good person if is able to give such amazing gifts. Irina, listening her reasoning, looks like thoughtful and a little embarrassed. Irina reflects on the gifts he sent her Carlisle. She believes that this too much dear things and plans to return the necklace because he cannot accept it. Irina runs into Kasha-kun and asks him straight out why she to him needed. She doesn't understand why her are being drawn into this situation. She explains that she received the dress and jewelry from Carlisle are overpowering doubts and feelings, awkwardness because of these expensive gifts. Kasha-kun confirms that he is aware of the situation. His serious expression faces indicates importance assignments related to these gifts. Irina decides accept dress because she is older, nothing to wear to the ball. However, I'm sure that the necklace must be returned, regardless of the consequences. Kasha-kun reports that this impossible because the general threatened punishment if he dares to return something. This is shocking, Irina. She considers this is absurd. Kasha adds that if Irina will refuse, accept a gift, then the consequences will be more worse. Makes her feel more confusion. He then reports that Carlisle wants to see her at the ball in this dress and with a necklace. Makes Irina think about his intentions. Irina understands that Carlisle wants to. She became a Queen Bala. She realizes that target these gifts to increase her status. However, knowing Exodus from last life, I'm sure that will never be able to receive this title. In her soul sounds bitter disappointment, but she all equals getting ready for the ball. Irina expresses distrust of the person whom imposed big expectations. She talks about the gift that was given to her sent, and passes it on with a message to another addressee. Kasha is passing on Irina a message that the one who sent a gift wanted it to be given to her if she will refuse. In the message, words about the promise are heard, which she should execute. Words in the message touch execution of this, promises that causes Irene interior conflict and light tiredness. But she completes talk with confidence, hiding your own excitement. Kaisha says goodbye. Finishing conversation, Irina. Despite the external calm down, stay thoughtful. Her sight gives out disturbing thoughts, but she thanks interlocutor for the visit. After care, porridge Irina looks out the window. Her thoughts return to the past decisions, and she firmly decides, live without regrets. Lunar light enhances the drama of the moment. In the morning, in the room, appears Mirabelle. She is preparing dress for Irina, specifying details to create a new outfit. Her caring attitude softens tension in the atmosphere. Mirabelle, trying on dress, asks Irina, did she ever think about a sequel? Studies outside habitual life. Question causes Irina unexpected reflection. Irina, honestly, it is admitted that earlier never thought about such possibilities. The uncertainty in her words emphasizes that the topic is new to her, new and unusual. Mirabelle offers think about it, hinting that will be able to help to carry out similar plans. Irina promises think about it proposal, despite its original indecision. Talk leaves to Irina with hope for the future. Their dialogue emphasizes important support and new horizons that completes a series of scenes on a warm and inspiring note. Irina confidently declares Mirabelle what will help her shine at the ball, offering support and confidence. Girl radiates enthusiasm, showing off the outfit that she cooked. Mirabelle, with gratitude, agrees trust. Irene, her face illuminates easy smile. She feels like her friend really believes in her. At the entrance to the Mirabelle ballroom, demonstrates restrained confidence in making a request that surroundings straightaway accept view. Irina approvingly follows her. Housemaid respectfully accompanies girls in the hall, admiring their elegance. Light floods their figures, emphasizing tender details outfits. Guests discuss arrival of the sisters from families. Blaise Mirabelle, in her refined dress, internally thinks, everything le corresponds her image. Irina, noticing doubts of a friend, softly asks what her worries. Inner voice of Mirabelle calms down yourself. If would something went wrong, I would have found out. Mirabelle thanks Irina for her support, noting how impressive all passed. She feels that her expectations from the ball were completely justified. Irina, with pride, looks at her friend, noting that views present are directed at her. She expresses your own admiration and success, Mirabelle. One of the ladies, meeting Mirabelle, admits her magnificence, marveling transformation. Irina is nearby, approvingly smiles, supporting her friend. Mirabelle answers restrained politeness, pronouncing gratitude. She feels myself confidently among the guests and ready to enjoy in the evening. In secular reception, Irina meets a noble lady who notices that she became even more beautiful. Irina politely replies that it is no worse herself, demonstrating thin skill support talk. Lady with interest is considering necklace. Irina asks, is it red? Lee, this is a diamond. Irina confirms that. This exactly that precious stone, making it clear its value and significance. Interlocutor admires choice decorations, emphasizing how it perfect fits. Irene, she is clearly impressed. Exquisite taste, girls. What creates around Irina has an aura of sophistication. The hall is announced arrival Emperor Sullivan and the Empress Ophelia. The solemn moment attracts universal attention, emphasizing importance events and status of arrivals. Sullivan greets gathered and says that the reason for the celebration was the return their prince. His warm tone creates a family atmosphere, joys. The Empress, resplendent in her luxurious attire, shares with the Emperor happiness from returning heir. Their mutual respect enhances admiration of the guests. Sullivan represents the main guest of the ball, Prince Carlisle Van Dimitri. The prince appears, radiating mystery and grace that calls delighted whispers among the guests. Emperor expresses hope that Carlisle enjoy in the evening. The prince, though reserved, shows hidden determination, hinting at his complex characters. It starts among the guests, lively discussion. One of women admires the beauty of the prince, another reminds of the mysterious prophecy related to his fate, adding intrigue. Irina, with anxiety, notices how ambiguous the reaction to Carlisle is. Her thoughts full questions about what the matter is, and the feeling looming secrets enhances voltage. Irina and Mirabelle are at a ball, where young Mirabelle admires beautiful image of the crown prince, calling him a hero. Fairy tales Irina. Worrying about the impression Mirabelle pay attention, watches her reaction. Irina is glad that Mirabelle the crown prince liked it, hoping for a favorable outcome development events. In her, the look shows sincerity, caring for the younger one to the girl. The noblewoman, turning attention, Irina. As attention sets young people who want to meet her. Her offer introduced someone to Irina, lung confusion. Irina surprised happening, because in her last life, nothing like that ever happened. She is trying save calm, although in her soul overflowing feelings. Mirabelle, noticing Irina, joyfully approaches her, stating that for a long time I was looking for her among the guests. Irina, a little confused by the unexpected meetings, Mirabelle, together with another lady, present themselves to the crown prince, majestically greeting him. The atmosphere is filled solemnity, and Irina understands importance moment. Irina notices that the crown prince has been around for some time. Time is watching her. Her sight reflects surprise and light uncertainty, as if she is trying to guess his intentions. The crown prince unexpectedly offers Irene dance. His politeness and calm confidence cause her mixed feelings, but she tries hide your confusion. Irina, internally surprised by this turn of events, she didn't expect it such a direct invitation, but her eyes start shine with growth unrest. Having overcome embarrassment, Irina accepts the crown prince's proposal. She is glad that he is acting within their framework previous agreements and feels that events unfold in her benefit. Irina almost fell, but Carlyle retained her, admitting that would lose equilibrium if would delayed their views met, and a flame flared up between them. Barely noticeable tension shrouded tenderness. Carlyle with a smile warns Irina, what their joint life will difficult. His tone is mysterious, as if there is something hidden behind the words, something more than that until he realizes it. Irina, looking at Carlyle, was perplexed, asks why he thinks so. Her eyes full curiosity and light worries. But he continues save intrigue. Carlyle smirks and says it's streamlined that he has. There is their reasons. His view becomes more playful, enhancing the atmosphere of mystery between them. Irina, without being distracted from the topic, asks, did he find out? Did he say anything about trying Destruction Flower Bridge? Her voice sounds seriously, but the look is still soft. Carlyle promises to return to this conversation later, gently squeezing Irina's hand. Their gestures are barely perceptible, attraction that is getting stronger and stronger. Carlyle says that someone wants to introduce Irina with young people. He does not hide his own discontent. His tone is filled easy jealousy, but he tries stay calm. Irina notices his emotions and clarifies, against whether he did this. Her eyes attentively watch his reaction, as if she wants to understand the true feelings. Carlyle admits that he does not intend to do nothing that will upset Irina. His words sound sincerely, and on her face appears easy smile, softening voltage. Carlyle says that to him. Niece here, this is from Irina. His face illuminates satisfied smile that complements this moment, warmth, and hints at the growing closeness between them. At the ball, in a luxurious hall with a high ceiling, Irina, in elegant pink dress, with a smile thanks his partner Carlyle for the dance, and he, placing his hand on his heart, responds with grace, emphasizing his manner. Having finished the dance, Irina notices a young man who timidly comes up and asks permissions invite her to dance. His gestures, they give out uncertainty, but he is determined decisively. Carlyle intervenes by claiming that Irina is already busy and imagines myself. How her partner. His tone is stern and his gaze is cold, provoking the opponent is confusion. Having retreated, the young human apologizes to Irina for his misunderstanding. His politeness and graceful bow make the girl involuntary admiration. Irina reflects on the stranger's good manners, but reassures himself, recalling the agreement with Carlyle. Supporting created they are the image of a woman in love couples. She notices how their interaction attracts attention surrounding the whisper of the ladies standing aside, foretells soon spreading rumors. Irina offers Carlyle continued support, illusion, their proximity, offering to him drink a glass of wine. It's cold, the face is expressionless emotions, but he agrees, in response to her words that people will believe in them anyway feelings. Carlyle is experiencing lung embarrassment. His subtle sarcasm indicates his involvement in the game. Carlyle reluctantly accepts the rules of the game, and his reaction makes Irina think that he really is experiencing jealousy. Irina smiles, noticing how Carlyle for real involved. She continues play your part while maintaining lightness and naturalness that cause interest public. Irina reflects on the fact that her solution was wise, and thinks that in the future, costs act in the same way. Confidence in your actions gives her a feeling satisfaction. She heads towards his brother Carlyle, noticing in the crowd familiar faces. Her sight glows determination. After all, she knows that should protect their close and achieve justice. Having seen Paveluka, she freezes in surprise. The man, no time hurt her, suddenly turns out to be nearby. Her eyes are filling up with fury and determination. Pavlik tells Carlyle about his in the past, mentioning how lost his arm. Irina hears his words and holds back with difficulty splash emotions, seeing how he talks to her brother. She immersed in thoughts of revenge, her intelligence covered hatred, but the realization that any action maybe influence the fate of her brother restrains her. Carlyle notices changed mood. Irina, and approaching her, tries to understand what her worries. His concern touches her, but she tries hide their feelings. Irina convinces Carlyle that she is okay, despite the fact that inside no storm of emotions is raging. She wants to protect him from his own anxiety. Carlyle touched her face, sees tension in her eyes. He looks at her with concern, not understanding that is going on in her soul. He's trying calm down her, calling by name. His closeness makes Irina feel myself protected despite fears. Carlisle asks if she's sick, but Irina is unable to answer. Because her feelings contradict each other, she understands that her brother is hers, the only support in this complex world. Carlisle Van Dimitri, the cold and distant crown prince, stops Irina, holding her by the hand. She, surprised by his gesture, tries to understand the reason for such unexpected attention. Her eyes express confusion and slight fear. King Pavlik, with a grin, discusses recent events with another courtier. They suspect that Irina is not simple girl. Her connection with the prince causes rumors, causing their think about her origin. Pavlik reservedly confirms that Irina from family's blaze. His thoughtful sight shows that he is already building plans as use this one information in their purposes. Alone under starry sky, Carlisle worriedly asks Irina about her condition. Her timid answer and hesitant sight show that she hides something important, but can't decide, reveal the truth. Carlisle, with cold confidence, notices that, externally, she looks like, well, his words sound as if challenge, as if he wants to. Irina admitted that her worries. Irina, trying hide their emotions, smiles and thanks Carlisle for caring for her. Tender smile illuminates dark evening. But in her eyes, all the shadow is still visible worries. Carlisle continues, insist that Irina told the truth. His confidence and pressure emphasize his desire to understand that hides girl and help her. Despite her attempts, hide the truth. Irina immerses himself in his thoughts, realizing that he cannot tell about how met enemy from last life. Her interior conflict, it gets stronger, but she can't violate silence. She feels sharp dizziness. Her face loses its colors. Her weakness becomes obvious, and she understands what to hide next. Your own state will impossible. Carlisle, noticing her condition, concerns her forehead, checking, is there whether the temperature, his serious expression faces and care show that despite his coldness, he has sincere worries about Irina. Irina, with anxiety, moves away from touching Carlisle, saying that she was not pleased. Similar gestures. She looks like excited that emphasizes her internal discomfort and tension in their relationships. Carlisle notices that Irina looks like ready faint, but that is all equals refuses accept his help. He reminds her that their relationship only formality, and their love is fiction, adding dramatics. Carlisle, looking away, coldly says that will remember her words. His look becomes gloomy, emphasizing disappointment and hidden pain from her reactions. Irina indignantly returns Carlisle donated necklace, stating that this too much for her. Her face expresses mixture resentment and determination, reflecting her internal struggle. Carlisle reminded Irene about her promise, asking question that forced her freeze. His expression becomes serious, and the background is filled with nightlight, enhances the drama of the moment. Irina, it is admitted that necklace too much expensive, and it is difficult for her to accept it, because this enhances her feeling debt to Carlisle. She looks like confused and emotional, expressing your fears. Carlisle offers her to pay him back, but not with money or gifts, but simply frankness. He asks her tell the truth, emphasizing how much he values honesty. His question is whether or not Lee, it's so hard for her, adds a note of reproach. Carlisle continues, insist, showing that it is important for him to understand her feelings. Irina, internally, it is admitted that not ready to reveal all of her yet cards. Her sight reflects contradictory emotions, fear, confusion, and desire, save something secret. Finally, Irina is being decided accept necklace. Motivating this is because uses it to become heir princess. She smiles, showing that found internal fulcrum for this solutions. Irina, talking to Carlisle Van Dimitri, wonders the question is, who could try destroy Floral Bridge? Her guess falls on the Grand Duke Lumen, but Carlisle refutes this, specifying that, now this post is occupied by Pavlik. Irina starts analyze situation and comes to the conclusion that it is time to act. She immerses himself in thought, thinking about how to cope with challenges, and prepares do the first steps in your plan. Carlisle notices that Irina concerned his own uncle. She expresses confidence that the Grand Duke of Lumen is seeking to seize the throne, adding more tension in the conversation. Carlyle Open says that the greatest danger represents his brother, the second prince of Redfield. He believes that Empress and family Anita want to exactly Redfield took his place. In the next one scene appears Redfield with a companion. His striking appearance and position, second son Emperor, emphasize his status. The atmosphere is tense, hinting at his ambitions. Irina reflects on whether he is involved Redfield to the bridge incident. Her insight and anxiety hint that the solution this secrets maybe be the key to the future. In their own memories, Irina realizes that in the past life, Pavluk killed Ophelia. This one thought makes her hope that this time she will be able to change destiny. Carlyle assures Irina what from now on she will become the center of his attention. He warns her be careful with your actions, especially when interacting with the Empress. Irina promises that he won't let you down. Carlyle, her confidence and determination are clearly evident in this moment, showing that she is ready to accept challenge. Their talk is coming to an end. Irina says that it's time for her to leave because the sister, is waiting. Between them remains lightness and trust, but tension around their plans do not disappear. Irina thoughtfully looked at the companion, hearing his words that for sure she is someone loves. This awakened emotions mixed with uncertainty in her, but she tried to maintain a calm appearance so as not to give away their own feelings. The companion extended his hand to her, offering to go together. His proposal caused her unexpected confusion, but I still agreed. Despite the internal doubts, driven strange trust. Walking next to you, Irina, I felt how carefully he took her by the hand. I realized that similar touches evoke warmth and calm in her, although all what was happening remained for her a mystery. Looking at her surroundings, Irina admitted that feels myself stranger in this place. Her words about that here for the first time, it seemed truthful, but her face showed something more. Confusions. Sputnik calmly replied, assuring her in something important. In his eyes was read confidence and gentleness, which made Irina think about what she had been searching in her for a long time, life-similar support. He noticed that she needed be patient, and added that he had long wanted to say something. Irina with interest looked at him, trying guess what words will be spoken next. Attention meant attracted necklace on her neck. He noted how much it emphasizes her beauty. Irina, a little embarrassed but pleased. She thanked him for the compliment. Irina suddenly heard how someone called out her by last name. Her face reflected surprise and alarm, as the voice sounded unfamiliar. But the situation began to seem more strange. Two appeared in front of her girls. One of them, Mirabelle, warmly greeted Irina, noticing that they hadn't seen each other for a long time. This strengthened her internal confusion. After all, I didn't remember at all their meetings. In an attempt to smooth out situation, Irina, smiling, asked them the question of what they here are doing. She tried to look confident, but in her, still in the eyes, was red caution. Mirabelle remembers a recent case where Miss Lawrence approached her personally to apologize for what happened, incident showing mercy. She decided to forgive her, with joy thinking that past finally left behind. Irina with grace approaches the girl with the blue bow and sincerely apologizes for his actions. Realizing that a lot has passed already time, she calls forget past misunderstandings and leave them in the past. The girl with the blue bow is touched sincerity, Irina. With a tremor in her voice, she thanks her for the warm words. Feels like cargo with her hearts gradually disappears. Leading events in an elegant suit announces that the moment everyone had been waiting for had arrived. The hall froze in anticipation. Waiting announcements, Queen's Bala, the man continues, announcing that he will first call 3 candidates onto the stage who have received the greatest quantity votes. The excitement in the hall is growing. The audience is hiding breathing. Irina stunned to hear that there are 3 contenders this time, although in her past memories there was total 2. This unexpected change makes her feel internal confusion. The presenter with a smile announces the first contender, a girl with silver hair, who represent how Lady Julia, Flower Higher Society. She gracefully comes on stage. Next, they call Lady Ellen, daughter Marquise Shelby, reserved and confident. She calls admiration his own with a noble appearance and proud posture. Everyone in the room froze in anticipation, last name. The presenter, with an intriguing pause, holds the card in his hands. creating a tense atmosphere among gathered. The hall is plunged into excitement until the sound is heard. Name third contender. Emotions. Mirabelle mixed with expectation. Premonition, something fateful that maybe change her future. In a luxurious hall decorated with light and flowers, Irina, holding back excitement, hears how her announce representative noble family of Count Blaze. Her expressive red eyes glow surprise and light anxiety. Mirabelle, with green with eyes, approaches Irene with sincerity, smiling, congratulating her. She obviously knew that Irina deserved it attention, and now sincerely is happy for her friend, supporting her in this important point. The stage becomes the center of attention. The host invites three beautiful ladies to go up to the podium. For him, it's an honor to be around such exquisite people. Lady What creates a festive atmosphere. Glances present rush to the shop window, where exhibited exquisite tiara. Exactly, she will become a symbol of the Queen Bala. This moment is emphasized importance events and their uniqueness. Zircon Ruford, in a red suit, with a light smile declares his desire personally to reward the winner. His confident look and words add intrigues for the upcoming choice. Leading confirms that participation mirrors will give event more brilliance and significance. His words make the audience freeze in anticipation, while how Irina stealthily observes what is happening. Irina is surprised present Zircon, because in her last life, this human never appeared. Events seemed would predetermined. Now start go the unexpected way scenario. Ellen, confidently walking around the hall, he turns. I will pay attention to the need takeaway views. In her eyes, readable hint of hidden intrigue that promises soon open up. Mirabelle pronounces that one of them is destined to become the most beautiful young lady evenings. The look is full of inspiration and light anticipation, like as if she already knows the result. Irina, looking at the tiara, remembers events past evenings. Her thoughts filled new emotions, because fate unexpectedly made its own adjustments, and that's all changed. Empress Ophelia is sternly interested in her son, Zircon Ruford. Why did he leave the room? His actions seem to her unsuitable for the upcoming ceremonies, adding voltage between them. Zircon, with light smile, explains what interested him, what is happening, demonstrating youthful carelessness. However, his behavior hints at hidden confidence and desire act in one's own way. Ophelia warns son, be more careful and don't waste time on trifles. Her words are full maternal strictness, but behind them, you can feel desire for him to prove himself before the aristocracy. Holding back irritation, Zircon obeys mothers, promising follow her instructions. This moment shows tense but respectful relationship between them. Girl with light hair, Irina Ase, is experiencing internal tension. Her eyes filled determination. They say about her hopes and dreams to take a special place in this society. Irina ponders how much more she will have to make some effort to achieve his goals. Her thoughts full doubts, but determination breaks through them, hinting at her strength of character. Young man announces results ceremonies. His face reflects hidden intrigue that makes the moment even more tense for everyone participants. Group girls report the unexpected decision. Surprise and shock are reflected on their faces, all, including Irina, who more stronger starts feel heat situations. To Irene, they come up to her with congratulations. She's stunned to realize that exactly her chose, that makes her feel mixed. Feelings joy and uncertainty. Irina is set question how this could happen. Her face filled sincere surprise. And the eyes are burning new awareness, his own positions and responsibilities. Zircon Ruford, son impress, presents Irene Crown, expressing admiration her beauty. His confidence and respect in words create special atmosphere. Guests they are watching, and Zircon's gesture looks like more than just a formality. Irina. She is embarrassed by such attention from the prince, carefully takes the crown, thinking about the meaning of this gift. Her thoughts filled with surprise. But in the heart are born mixed feelings. Zircane leans towards Irene, softly hinting that he would like to dance with her. However, young woman indicates that prefers dancing with whoever you want more worthy. Between them arises light but significant tension. The prince, despite the refusal, retains a favorable tone and inviting Irina for an evening in his honor. His look expresses interest, and the words sound persistently, forcing girl think about his intentions. Irina, putting on the crown, reflects on the fact that Zirkan may be looking for a rapprochement with her for his own sake goals. Her doubts and tension become noticeable despite appearance Shin Bala. Zirkan officially announces an evening organized in his honor, surprising the guests and especially Irina. His tone and confidence emphasize that this event has special meaning for him. Irina. That's it, more hesitantly. She watches the reactions of others. Ellen, a blonde with yellow eyes, gives advice, smile more. But her words sound, how hidden criticism, reinforcing voltage. Irina internally expects from Ellen unflattering comments, but understands that her comments hide more deep meaning. This moment shows complex relationship between girls. Irina realizes that Zirkan and Ellen now are located in the center of it, attention. She understands that her is waiting, watching them behavior, to avoid mistakes in relationships with them. In conclusion evening, to Irina fits another guest, offering share their own feelings. Situation becomes more multi-layer, and the voltage around Irina continues grow. Irina, standing in front of the luxurious stained glass, looked worried. Her thoughts were rushing between with hope and anxiety. She felt that situation too much difficult but sincere, believed that everything is possible, decide. At the ceremony, Irina, with pride holding flowers, thanked present for the honor shown. Her smile was bright, but deep down inside, she felt cargo responsibility for one's own position. Turning to Mirabelle, and more, won the girl, Irina gave them advice. Be careful, that looked like how sincere manifestation worries girls attentively listened, trying to catch the hidden hints in her words. Mirabelle apologized to Irene for the recent incident and expressed concern about possible consequences. Irina, without showing his concerns, thanked for the warning and tried to maintain dignity. Irina talked to Mirabelle. Another young woman shared observations about envy. Lady Shelby, Irina thought that her success brings not only joy, but also creates voltage. Other heroine pondered the lady's motives. Shelby, assuming that she sees Irina rival, she advised be on guard, which increased tension situation and forced Irina think about the future. Irina thanked interlocutor for kindness advice, but her smile barely hid worry. I understood that behind the goodwill can hide dangers and prepared for possible difficulties. Mirabelle, with kind regards with a smile. She wished Irene good luck and said goodbye. Despite the warm words, their talk left ambiguous impression, enhancing interior conflict. Irina thoughtfully realized that future starts to look very different from what it is. She knew before I was at a loss and couldn't decide how proceed further with feeling variability, destinies. Returning home, Irina received new ones, invitations to social events. This gesture reminded her that intrigues and duties around no continue, and she needs save excerpt. Irina, studying the letters, realizes that she has received a lot invitations to events. She seems puzzled that surprises her companion. Mirabelle, who enthusiastically notes that Irina probably produced impression on the last in the evening. Mirabelle suggests that fame Irina is growing, and Irina, although she admits necessity interact with representatives' noble families, feel a lack of information about them. That makes her think about strategy approach. Passes some days, and Irina notices that flow invitations suddenly stopped. Makes her feel anxiety, but she can't understand why. This connected and decides sort out the situation. The servant reports Irene on arrival, Lady Rowlands, who is waiting her in the living room. Irina D, feeling importance of this visit, is being prepared, meet the guest, and hurry. Lady Rowlands starts conversation, and her concern becomes obvious. She hints at something serious that requires attention. Irina, strengthening intrigue and tension in their communication. Lady Rowlands reports Irene, what is in the highest society are spreading terrible rumors about her. She hurried warn Irina, hoping that they will be able to understand who is behind this. The rumors are shocking Irina. She finds out that her accused of indecent behavior that makes her feel anger and bewilderment. Lady Rowlands expresses sympathy, understanding how much this may be destructively. Despite the excitement, Irina saves composure. She ponders over who could spread these rumors and decides that need to act quickly so that save your reputation. Irina thanks Lady Rollins for the warning and starts develop an action plan. She understands that this trial will become verification, her force's character and ability to cope with intrigue higher societies. Irina, realizing importance fighting for one's own kind name, does decisive steps to find out source rumors and restore your reputation by showing strength of spirit and intelligence. Irina, worried heard, trying to understand where the rumors came from, affecting her name, Lady Rollins. Sitting on the contrary, he looks at her with alarm, realizing that these conversations carry threat reputation. Lady Rollins shares with Irina that the rumors have basis, because there is witness and evidence. She speaks. It's with nervous tension, obviously understanding the seriousness situations. Having heard about the witness, Irina asks suggestive questions trying to figure out who exactly maybe be involved. Her spicy sight gives out suspicion that this maybe be someone from close environment. Lady Rollins, it is admitted that the witness is the maid Sophia, who visits meetings rich families and spreads false rumors. Irina instantly guesses what's behind this. There might be someone more standing influential. Irina expresses doubt that Sophia could penetrate into such meetings without anyone's help. Her sight becomes cold and suspicious, clearly hinting at someone's involvement. Lady Rollins confirms that behind the actions, Sophia probably should. Lady Shelby Irina penetrates determination to deal with the insidious plans from which depends her kind name. Irina, lost in thought, feels internal fight. Lady Rollins notices. This is what he asks about her condition. Irina answers that ponders further actions in the current situations. Lady Rollins expresses understanding, remembering how she herself suffered from intrigues. Lady Shelby. She has shared their own experiences, trying to show that it is not worth it give in to difficulties. Irina thanks Lady Rollins for support and sharing their own doubts. She understands that rumors can complicate her social plans, but her determination does not fade. Ellen, with warmth, calms down Irina, reminding her that experiences are natural, part life. Words evoke surprise and sincere confession. Irina, that no one to her I didn't give it before such support, even in the past life. Irina realizes that such understanding and kindness with sides Ellen rare. She is being asked question, can I account? Ellen is a friend because nobody had never shown such concern for her before. Ellen remembers how she recently made a mistake in front of another woman lady, but received forgiveness. Feeling she is indebted to herself for her generosity, decides repay with kindness by doing this sincerely and without hesitation. Irina, seeing sincere gratitude. Ellen smiles and feels relief. Simplicity and sincerity. Ellen warm up her, strengthening confidence in one's own actions and feelings. Irina fights internal tormented, admitting that he cannot hold the load longer of their experiences. Having decided free the soul, she accepts important for yourself solution. Kim, the servant, appears at her. I will call his politeness and respect, emphasize his devotion. The atmosphere is filled tension, foreshadowing important talk. Irina hands over. Kim received a letter with instructions, give to Countess Vivian and arrange for an ambulance meeting. Her words sound confidence, but behind it is hiding internal excitement. Kim expresses doubt. Will be able whether the Countess could find time for a meeting in his eyes, readable anxiety, but he does not allow himself to disobey and accepts task with readiness. Confidence. Irina admires Kima, and she emphasizes the importance of the letter, entrusting pass it on to anyone, Price. Her determination confirms how important this is action for her peace of mind. Irina, left alone, experiences regret for that used memories from last life. How Tool, her face reflect struggle between atonement and necessity. Protect your own present. Irina seems to be Shelby with deceptive politeness that hides her true intentions. Internal voltage between them you can feel when Irina ingratiatingly hints at his own influence. Shelby cautiously answers, emphasizing that Irina became an object attention higher society. Between the lines you can hear hidden challenge, hint at her mistrust. Irina exacerbates situation, openly asking question about the letter Shelby received. A hint of secrecy outputs Shelby from equilibrium. Its emotions are obvious. Irina mercilessly states that knows the secret of Shelby and her son. Now her words sound, how threat, increasing feeling dangers. Shelby understands that Irina manipulates situation, but the blonde with yellow hair, with eyes, is trying save self-control, not giving in panic. Irina, without hiding deceit, does your own offer. She requires fulfill the request in order to keep Shelby's secret a secret that evokes an inner struggle. When Irina reveals what exactly she wants, tension reaches its peak. She asks Ellen spread rumors that could destroy reputation third sides. Irina details the lie that Shelby should introduce into society. The plot includes envy and revenge, skillfully woven into history. Shelby doubts, realizing immorality, his own participation in this plan. But the force of pressure, Irina puts her before the difficult choice. Irina, confident in her victory, emphasizing that the truth is, for the highest society is not important. For her has meaning, just how this one history will remember other. Shelby, holding back irony, reflects on his impression of the young aristocrat, Irene. She notices her carelessness, emphasizing that Irina Fine understands subtleties higher societies. In a spacious hall at a table with exquisite service, Irina asks Shelby about her readiness fulfill the request. Ellen agrees, hinting at the possibility influence on the course events. Ellen becomes more seriously thinking about the possible consequences if Irina will decide reveal the secret. The threat is in her look, speaks of the determination not to allow this to happen. Irina calmly responds to warning Shelby, making it clear that she understood her hints. She saves cold calm down. That makes Ellen think about it. Lost in thought, Irina understands that manipulating other people's weaknesses can lead to tragedy. Remembering past mistakes, her red eyes shine with emotion voltage. Shelby appears in red dress, looking majestically, as if flower higher society. Her image evokes respect, but mysterious past threatens destroy her reputation. Shelby remembers tragedy associated with her son, who became reason her collapse. Exposure. Her secrets caused a scandal, forcing her accept fatal solution. Irina reflects on the past. Shelby where she chose tragic outcome. Now she faces question. Will be able to Ellen choose another way in this reincarnation. Shelby notices close sight Irene and asks about the reason her attention. Irina embarrassedly apologizes, leading away conversation in more calm riverbed. Shelby, smiling, notes that she is ready to believe Irina's words, but finally will accept solution later. Her calm hides wariness of the future events. Irina, with confident smile, explains what rumors are needed. Spread at her look is full of determination. Calmness and clarity in words indicate that she thought through every step for her goals. Speaking about rumors, Irina notes their growth. What does walking outside is more difficult? She thoughtfully sighs, expressing quiet discontent current situation. Attention! Irina interrupts Kasha-kun, who informs her that the general wants meat. Irina, surprised, unexpectedly requests, and her sight becomes focused. Hearing that the general wanted to talk to her in 3 days, Irina is wary. Thoughts about coincidence dates they force her focus on the hidden meanings of this events. Irina reports that she already has plans for the day, and with politeness, with regret, refuses to meet. The hard tone emphasizes her determination and thoughtfulness actions. Kasha-kun expresses understanding and leaves. Respecting solution, Irina, she throws, look at the closed door. Remaining alone with thoughts about the future, she hopes that the rumors will calm down, but her face gives out alarm. The internal monologue reveals that Irina, all more concerned consequences their own actions. 3 days pass, and events unfold in place, luxurious decoration, where it begins an important moment of the battle. The atmosphere is filled, tension and anticipation. Irina appears in the hall. Her confident step attracts attention. People are whispering without expecting her arrival. Her appearance creates a sense of hidden agenda. The whole room is guessing about her motives. But Irina, reserved and focused, confidently is coming forward. Her sight expresses calmness that hides thoroughly planned move. Irina, with eyes, feels tension. She mentally reflects on the situation and realizes that all goes as it should, she expected. The situation around emphasizes her determination. The girl is ready for action. Shelby talks about suspicions. In the room, Lady Elena was a man. Shelby's words cause interest from others. Her tense sight emphasizes seriousness heard. Irina reveals that I was looking for her confidence. She is growing as if gains control over the situation. Her eyes glow determination, and a voice in my head confidently declares, "Found." The girl with red hair is probably a Lady Blaze, sarcastically comments appearance Irina, putting under doubt her status. Tension between heroines is getting stronger. In the air is hovering hidden threat. Irina saves imperturbability, but her sight becomes more dangerous. Her answer leaves the interlocutor is perplexed. The girl is clearly planning something, and this scares. Lady Blaze, with a challenge, speaks about presence. Vulgar people, hinting at Irina conflict. It's heating up, though Irina answers coldly. Without showing it, emotions that only provokes blaze stronger. Between heroines is growing verbal fight. Lady Blaze accuses Irina is envious, claiming that rumors about her meanness true. Irina saves calm down, that calls irritation opponents. Internal reflections, Irina emphasize her superiority. She understands that Blaze's words, they don't touch her, although she clearly wanted to touch her face. Irina expresses calm and hidden mockery. Blaze loses control by mentioning ridiculous rumors about addictions Irina. Her voice trembles, but she is trying save arrogance that only calls sarcastic reaction. Irina cleverly turns over situation, bringing the source to light rumors. She wraps up all against Blaze, emphasizing her vulnerability. Episode is ending triumph. Irina cold-bloodedly looks at the interlocutor, clearly suspecting her involvement in the mysterious case. Shelby looks like stunned and confused, as if I didn't expect it such a direct accusation. Shelby is being decided, admit that, saw all own with her eyes. She claims that Lady Elena, every night I dated different men. That causes a resonance in society. Disturbance grows when becomes. It is known that the whole family, Blaze, is aware of what's going on. Shelby assures that was far from the only one witness, reinforcing voltage around situations. Irina, with a chilling calmly, does conclusions, recalling Shelby about her difficult fate after exile. She clearly suspects that there is something behind these words. Someone manipulating situation. Shelby claims that tells the truth, denies someone's pressure on herself, her face full determination, despite the doubts that sound in the air. Discussion it heats up when appears version that the maid could have received money for false accusations. This is calls both are angry sides and enhances the drama of the scene. Suddenly appears in the hall Lady Rowlands, attracting universal attention. Her unexpected appearance makes present freeze, wondering about her motives. Lady Rowlands greets Irina, claims that she came to prove innocence Lady Blaze. Her confidence and calmness cause respect and confusion. Irina is amazed by the lady's words. Rowlands, but he tries hide their emotions. She attentively listens her arguments, realizing that situation becomes all more difficult. Lady Rowlands addresses Shelby directly. Alluding to her envy, she reproaches her in excess emotionality, thus summing up results all complex and tense scenes. Shelby, with fury, looked at Irina, demanding explanations. Her words, the atmosphere became tense as Irina's words made Shelby feel threat, but she wasn't going to give in. Irina calmly reminded me of the past incident when Shelby set up the situation with the salt water. She confidently revealed details, showing that the truth is on her side. Shelby lost control, blaming Irina in slander, demanding evidence, however. Her anger only more warmed up curiosity surrounding. The rumors started diverge. One of the ladies present confirmed Irina's words, adding details that strengthened her statement. All views rushed towards Shelby. Irina reminded me how Shelby threatened her, promising spoil her face. These words shocked the guests, making Shelby more and more suspect. Shelby, screaming about the lies, tried to accuse Irina as in fiction, but her behavior became her enemy. She was in despair. Men in the crowd discussed situation. One of them asked the other if maybe whether the Countess should tell the truth. Those around her are increasingly started doubt innocence. Shelby thought in anger that her plans are collapsing. She couldn't believe that her intrigues surfaced out so unexpectedly. One of girls confirmed that I heard threats from Shelby. This was the final blow that forced all doubt the blonde's nobility. Shelby continued to shout about injustice, but her accusations were heard all the time. Weaker Irina, having saved composure, confidently